Won't hear it all.
I just want to carry on with fire. No trouble.
Here's the air data, Cheryl. Underwater.
Two chairs are in the,
Upstairs,
and it's,
in the room here. Okay, and your room.
gym.
Did you?
Okay, that's fine.
Put them in the gym, that way they're safe.
Thank you.
One chair, he had, you know, the old chairs, used to have little round, school chairs,
Yeah.
had little round sliders. You put them on that one chair and had wheels.
Oh,
So it
okay,
wasn't,
okay.
I had the other wheel that came off. Well, I want to take that with me when I go to the regional sale.
You know,
Okay.
Pine Street's closed right now, right?
That's the only way you're gonna find something.
Yeah, because there's fire.
So you go up there and you look around, find one, and that's it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Wow.
he said something about a check.
Oh, that's
You send a check, or if you need, you're gonna get one. I mean, I forgot what you told me the other day.
Rita's upstairs. Go upstairs, tap on the door, ask her for the check. They
It's
have,
on the back of Tom.
yeah.
Okay.
It's just been off.
No problem.
That's pretty
Thank
loud.
you, Tom.
You're welcome, sweetie. Tess, can I slam it down now, like that bear does on
No.
the commercial?
Sure.
He sits there and flips cards and then slams the money.
It's his car, he can do it.
Right away, you just walk
She's not listening to me. Oh, Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, well. I did know how your husband is.
Yeah, but.
My husband is there, but he left before.
It doesn't matter. He just calls. That's why I'm not in the shop, because he breaks them, takes them. And that's the problem. There's that number.
Not, did you?
Immediately, no.
Lex,
Oh, Lexi, get up here.
you're so loud.
Sorry.
I was told the same thing, don't worry.
It's just on a scale, but it just happens.
It really does. All of you are the
When's her
same.
birthday?
I'm telling you, she's a baby.
Because I'm Gemini, so I'm out.
Because he has this walkie thing. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, see, I'm a Gemini, so I have my second part. Well, where's volunteers? They were really Exactly, I agree with Joe. I agree with him. I agree with what's happening. Here comes trouble.
Oh, I love trouble.
I bet you do. Here comes trouble.
You don't want.
Come here,
Oh,
trouble.
man, I see that. That's my face all the
Lexi
time.
just said she loves trouble.
Bruno, I don't like that. That's not your normal face.
As much as I want to do that.
Okay, tell us. Let me finish the sentence. What snacks do you guys have?
You know,
You want them? They're cookies. Rita gave me those.
you know,
Correct, stay.
I'm trying to stay in my house.
I never just stay and be quiet.
Then stay be quiet, please.
Stay.
It will hurt us.
Stay for a while.
No, I'm serious. Look at me. If George can be quiet, well, he's going to be. You I need a drink. Just put it in a cup or something.
You need to go at it and her thing. Before we left, she was wondering if I Is that cold?
Who is that? You know, no good.
I don't know, but can I put my stuff in your office?
I don't know who it is. Oh, wait, wait.
Who is that?
It's
all meant. Oh, okay.
You're not gonna do anything.
I don't know. Thank you. She knows. I'm just. I gotta stop talking about this again. Just.
That boy's gonna do that.
Walk with me.
Okay, walk with me. Oh, off here? You're off.
Kelly.
Not me opening the door backwards.
Yeah, I'm out of here at, hopefully 7:30. Yeah, we're, basically I go home, get an Uber to, Newark, and, Kirby. Jeez. Oh, with the little packet.
Yeah. You're not allowed.
Hey, doing? Joel Stacy, Chair. Nice to meet you. You have permission to do this?
Public.
Yeah, you have to have permission to write this.
Lewis wasn't noticed
Because you have permission.
to take video and meeting. So everyone in here was self-posted.
Well, they should.
I'm under here as well.
Okay.
I've streamed it many times. If we're enforced, no
So you can stream it,
I've streamed it.
But not-
many times.
you cannot put it on our website.
No, stream it in private.
Understood.
Yeah, it's private. It's just like everybody else.
Okay, yep.
I don't have those. I have fire. So
Okay. What? I'm not gonna, when the meet, I'll probably be here for a half hour. So I'll tell Nicole that to get you a kid. So yourself? Yeah, yeah. Right.
Sign it.
I don't pay attention to Facebook, so I didn't know. Oh, okay. So-
Either way.
No, and I'll be honest, I haven't, I've been a part-time job.
Yes.
So Facebook's been a lot more than a part-time job. I do tend to- I was here, but I heard. I did.
That's an issue.
You're here with me, right?
Yes.
What is the meeting again?
It's the first one.
First Monday of the month. Okay. All right.
So that's an issue. I'll leave, someone call me this. But, yeah. I just had an issue that won't go on. Here,
I'll be away for the most of the month of January.
Thanks, Jules. Hey, Jules, do you have the letter that Lewis gave you, so I can see the format?
I don't, but I can track it down, like, I don't have it.
I thought, social media.
Because I think in the, I think in New Jersey, and I could be wrong, but I think in New Jersey, you're supposed to have that commission. No? Okay. As I said, I could be wrong. Hello, hello.
Good evening. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
I got removed from social media here for the letter.
Is there a reason why I was moved from my position?
No idea. I didn't put them up there.
Strategic review policies that I don't understand. our schools transfer no, I'm natural policy, but I grew up in place. Legal rejection policies.
I put it every 10 days.
Because I mean, the reality is that all those numbers still exist. Plus, because there's no way
I like when you're here.
Hey, you know, I tried. I'm in the country for once. No, I'm be careful.
Yeah, there's one we couldn't identify, we tried to call him.
Oh, yeah.
And you have that number now. Yes. I appreciate that. Perfect. That would be outstanding. I appreciate
Well, since I'm out of here,
Yeah, that's starting.
Are you traveling?
I am, as soon as I get out of this meeting, hopefully 7:30, if not 7:45, the absolute latest. I'm going to the house, get the music, and going to the airport. and fly. Been playing for about a year.
Excuse me. Is Mr. Watson not joining us this evening? Was there a reason why he's not joining us this evening? Do you care to share with me? So I'll be notified at the same time. Does anybody else want to stay?
Yeah. Why? They put the batteries in. I'm fine.
this has been amended, after the amendment, it's all sent down. There are whiteout amendments to what was sent to us. Names that are new from the third, for the third time. Excuse me? Well, this is the third change.
Yeah, because you need to.
So, no, and I can understand that. So the policy that you take, the suggestion nominations in December that you tabled was this list.
It's 7 o'clock till.
The agenda that you forwarded to us. Correct. I mean, look, at your lead, we agreed to do it. The agenda that you sent to us. Is this list truncated from here, missing this title, these have been removed. This name has been removed as a meaning or and replaced with another name. Now it is, well, again, an update to the board. Discuss this in public. No, we're gonna discuss all of these.
Yeah,
because
all
now
of you are
here's-
gonna
this is what
discuss
you said.
tonight.
Okay, and now there's a whiteout here missing this name altogether, and a handwritten name here that doesn't match the original suggestion from the thing that you sent me on Sunday night. This is unacceptable. Well, there's been now 3 iterations of this, and all of them are under question based on the fact that that policy is error riddled from the beginning. This is what we run in December. Correct. And this change happened between Sunday and tonight.
And the
This is
ones I got
literally
it
the first time I'm seeing it.
I mean, either way, I don't see how you cannot answer my questions in emails and then give me this crap. But you know, you do you, bro.
All right, ready?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna bring the meeting to order.
It is something no one said anything about.
Okay, we're gonna bring the meeting to order. Let's get started. Roll call, please. Now, New Jersey Public Open Meetings Law, NJSA 10:4-6, was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting its interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the previous provisions of this act, the Board of Fire Commissioners of the Fire District Number 1, Township of Mount Holly, has caused notice of this meeting to be published, having the date, time, place, agenda, to the extent known thereof, posted as follows. Posted on the district website on December 29th, 2025, posted with the township clerk, posted where applicable. Can we turn it up?
No.
No, try to talk closer to the mic, sorry. Okay, formal action to be taken. We already called to order, or roll call, please.
Commissioner Look,
Present.
Commissioner Shepherd,
Yes.
Commissioner Saucier,
Here.
Commissioner Gaskell,
Here.
Chairman Beeson.
Here. Stand for pledge allegiance. And a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to bring it to attention that it says Secretary Shepherd, and the secretary position is not a nominated or assigned position. It has to be nominated second and then voted on by the full board, which was never conducted, just heads up. So it is not an actually a legal title at this time.
Approval of minutes for the November 5th, 2025 meeting.
I'll make this motion.
I've never received those minutes. Do we have them available?
Yes, I sent them to Mr. Beeson.
Okay, those were not forwarded on to me.
All right, we're gonna hold those. I missed that, sorry.
Did you receive them?
No, I did not receive any.
No. Did any of the commissioners receive them?
I thought it was-
Commissioner Saucier, Commissioner Gaskell?
I thought it was in the attachment. I apologize.
No worries.
Okay. Two things real quick, announcement wise. I am off on a trip that's been planned for about a year. I'm out of here 7:30, 7:45 at the latest. So I'll be excusing myself at that point, no matter where we are in the agenda. If I don't excuse myself, I will be divorced. So I am going to go on a long trip with the wife that's been planned for about a year. Okay, the other announcement is our former solicitor, Brown Coleman, has decided to no longer represent the district. They sent us a letter roughly about a month ago, saying that they wanted to withdraw. I've been in discussions with them ever since about staying on, so we found another solicitor.
You're gonna have to talk to that mic a little longer.
At what time are you gonna make the rest of the board members aware that we had been sent a correspondence to that effect and that we were looking? I mean, where's our RFP from, that we voted on in December to go out looking for one? That hasn't been posted yet.
When I felt it was necessary. Because I was hoping that we had discussions until yesterday, that they would extend their contract on a month-to-month basis. So I assumed as of yesterday afternoon that they would still be here today.
And I can understand and respect that, but I'll further the question again. We voted as this body to put out an RFP for a permanent attorney in December. That has yet been put out to the public. Why? If we were hoping to have an interim contract with our ongoing with Mr. Watson and Brown and Connery, wouldn't we have actively been looking for someone to fill those shoes when his interim contract concluded?
Well, if Brown and Connery had, if Brown and Connery had acquiesced to into the month, we would have put out a RFP and done that.
No, but that's not the question though. If we were only intending to keep them for an interim position, regardless of how long that would be, why the delay in advertising for an RFP for a service we know we're going to need, regardless of whether or not they agreed to stay on an interim position?
Because we didn't.
We agreed to that December last meeting. Why wasn't it done immediately?
Because we didn't have an RFP to send out.
Please fight microphone. There you go.
So the attorney that we had in the interim did not produce an RFP for us to advertise for an attorney knowing full well he was going to leave us?
That's right.
And you didn't request that of him?
We did get them, but they're they're other, and I was gonna make copies of these for everybody tonight to review. We got 3 or 4 other solicitations for solicitors.
Without an RFP?
I'm sorry,
Without an RFP?
no, you're not quite understanding.
No RFP.
Wait, are those exemplar RFPs that you want us to review? Or are those solicitors that are interested in filling the full-time role?
These are potential RFPs that I would like to review and agree upon.
Even though we voted in December's meeting that we needed to send out an RFP.
Why was that not a topic of discussion last month before we decided to go out for an RFP? I'm so confused at the delay here, right? Brown and Connery had quite generously agreed to stay on and represent us in the absence of the last law firm, okay? And knowing full well that they did not intend to be with us full-time because fire districts were not their area of expertise, why wouldn't, when this board initiated the idea, why wouldn't we have immediately asked him to draft an RFP and produce that to the public so that we could move forward immediately having law coverage that has fire district knowledge and the ability and desire to work with this board?
Well, we did.
How do you mean we did? Where's the RFP then?
Well, they gave us examples of other RFPs
When were you provided with those examples?
about a week ago.
And those have not been presented to any member of this board, correct?
In the last week, no.
Okay. Okay. Are we just trying to drag this out as long as possible? Like, I'm confused at the delay, is what I'm really confused about.
I'm not really sure why you're confused.
I think she's confused, Chairman Thiessen, because we are in a position where we have multiple situations that need to be handled by legal. And instead of making that your priority, you let it drag on and now have examples of an RFP when we voted to put one out in December. That is the confusion.
The priority at this point in time is the budget. Without a passed and accepted budget, the fire district will not exist.
can't hear you.
That's not necessarily true. Mount Holly, as you know, as part of the council, regularly has budgets that go into sometimes March, had previously, where the budget hasn't been submitted. So it has nothing.
The correspondence we've gotten from DCA through our.
Which we have not seen, but go ahead.
Just conversations with the auditor.
Okay.
So is it correspondence with DCA or is it conversations with the auditor?
Conversations with the auditor who's
Thank you.
spoken to the DCA.
Okay.
And.
So not a lawyer's interpretation of those conversations, just the assertions of the auditor, correct?
Of the auditor speaking to DCA.
Okay.
And that basically, if we don't pass the budget on first reading tonight, and/or we don't pass the budget on the second reading on the 26th, that Mount Holly will not have an accepted budget, and we will not be able to accept tax money.
What is the penalty for us having a not accepted budget? So if we were to send a budget tonight and they kick it back again for something else, will we be penalized? Or will there be a new deadline set?
No, they've gone through the budget. Our auditor has taken the time to go through the budget with DCA and go through it soup to nuts. So we know what we need to correct. And as long as we correct it and pass it, we don't have an issue.
So if the auditor has gone through it soup to nuts with the DCA, did they go through that website page about us being up to date on everything? Because since our last meeting, there have actually been minutes for this board removed from our website. And there's a page in that budget that we signed that says all of our minutes are up to date and present on our website. So has that been corrected in the budget we're forwarding tonight? Are all of those meeting minutes posted as you sign off on that certification that says they're present and up to date?
Well, I guess I'll counter with a question. The website hasn't been updated. The missing information from 24 and 25.
But there were meeting minutes for 2025 as of this time last month, and they're no longer present. We have had a director for the better part of the last year, and all of those same flaws were present when we submitted the budget last year. So are these also things the DCA is looking at? Because I can't imagine if they are, that they've found it to be in order and acceptable.
That wasn't an item they brought up.
Right. So there were also things that we discussed as a board here in public about making amendments and ensuring that the members of this district who can only serve in a volunteer capacity, not on a duty crew, would have the potential to have that $599 stipend reoffered to them should they have met the thresholds that were previously outlined for them. You said that was something you were interested in seeing happen. In the edits and audits that have been made to the budget we're submitting tonight, has that been reinstituted?
It has not, but that's something I would like to add at some point in the next couple of months.
Right, but if we send that budget and it's approved, it's not a question of adding it to the budget, right? It needs to be appropriated for. I have another question.
You can always add to the budget.
Right, the shared service agreement that we've been previously and historically enjoyed with West Hampton for the amount of $50,000, if I'm not misquoting the amount. Has that been budgeted for 2026, Rita?
No, it was not. I looked at the new one provided on the 18th. We were provided a new one that was supposed to be looked over that had the edits from our meeting on the 17th for the special meeting. The special meeting minutes discussed several of the issues I had with the budget, but we did not discuss the removal of the West Hampton shared service agreement. Now the budget says lease and not West Hampton, which is a full change. And last year, $42K, and this year, $0. So that is a negative 100% that is in the budget based on the budgets I was received. So the budget was changed from the vote, not based on the minutes and what we discussed during that budget meeting, but based on, I don't know. So it's not one I voted on, and therefore it is not accurate or should not have been submitted to the DCA at all. You can look, but it says it. It's on page F1 or F-3 details. It was at the very bottom, third row from the bottom. And it once said West Hampton Shared Service, and now it says Police. It once had 42K, and now it has 0. Now, I understand that things had to be changed because of the misappropriation of funds by our director for the 2 new vehicles. But when I looked at it, it's different now. That is not something I voted for.
All right, so,
Can I speak to that?
I'm sorry, absolutely, yes, yes.
Not-
Go ahead.
Okay. The reason that that was moved from that area was because we did not have a signed lease, and we had to basically put it into the budget in another area so that we can vote it in later on, and it is in there, it's just not stated clearly that that's the lease, what that's up for.
Where?
I would have to look at it, but.
Yes.
I'm.
We're happy to wait while you
No.
examine it.
I mean-
No.
I'm telling you, it is not the budget I voted for on the 17th.
Well, your vote,
Let me-
it was turned down, so we're voting again.
Reggie,
All right.
you've not given us enough.
But I don't have a new updated budget.
You had
Okay.
a document.
Can I speak to this? We might as well jump right over to the resolution, because we're just gonna, the resolution that you got, and you did get this because Gina, you have been in contact with Skip, and you have had these conversations with Skip.
Yes, and
So this is not new, and you're acting like you've not heard this before.
No, I did not. Skip is the one who told me that you guys did not have a signed agreement. Skip is the one who told me that it was removed from the budget. Our auditor specifically told me that it was removed from the budget. So yes, I've been in with the auditor. He
Correct.
said that to me.
Correct, but it was put in another area to be able to use it for that purpose.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Brooks, but that is not what our auditor said.
Well, I'm sorry, but
If
if you look at the resolution that's in front of you, these are the changes that are basically being set up by the auditor for our reintroduced budget.
We're gonna have a longer conversation on the budget, so
Yeah,
let's,
stop.
let's,
But I need to address this later.
Later.
Don't worry.
make a note of it.
The chairwoman, Gaskell wants us to move on. We probably should.
Make a note of it, and we'll come back to that, please. All right, so in order to go back to the solicitor, so again, this wasn't finalized until yesterday, when Brown and Connor said they would not represent us anymore.
Cannot hear you.
Sorry. Brown and Connor said they wouldn't represent us anymore as of yesterday. I think we need legal representation for all the reasons that everybody so eloquently stated.
Not enough to put out an RFP last month. I beg your pardon. I apologize.
Okay, so I called around to all my contacts from my municipal days, and I was able to find a solicitor. But
Absolutely not. Are we just going with one person that the chairman picks again?
obviously, that's for the board to decide.
But this is a problem, Jules, okay? I can appreciate that you have contacts from your municipal days. To assume that no one else on this board has an attorney that could potentially be forwarded for consideration is pretty disrespectful to the rest of us and the constituency that put us here. Do you not disagree with that? I mean,
Yes,
you
I
didn't
do.
even have a conversation with any of us that this was happening. Or excuse me, I can't speak to anyone else. You didn't have a conversation with me. I am not under any delusion that there are members of this board who had that conversation.
A, I've had conversations with no one,
Okay.
and B, to have the conversation.
Well, you've had the conversation with several solicitors that you know from municipal days, and they know our business, and I don't.
If I had the conversation with more than 2 other committee members, it would be a breach of the Open Public Meeting Act.
Not if you had them one at a time.
No, you're absolutely incorrect.
I make a motion for resolution 2026-004, appointing a solicitor.
I'm sorry, are you the chair of this meeting? Are you running the meeting, Nicole?
I can make a motion.
Well, we haven't done any of the reports or
I
any of that
second
yet.
the motion.
So I think we should follow our agenda as laid out.
I second the motion.
No, let's go through reports if we have reports.
Oh, well then I have things to say.
Well, no,
Yes,
let's,
this motion's on the floor.
there is not a motion on the floor because we haven't gotten to new business, Commissioner Gaskell.
So, Bill, Reports, buildings and grounds. Do you have any reports from buildings and grounds?
No, because I just looked online and it says that me and, Commissioner Logue are actually buildings and grounds. I saw that on our district because we didn't actually go through and get all the appointments
We did.
during the
No,
reorg.
we did not.
No, we
did not have a
didn't.
policy for personnel.
We can check actually,
The only one we didn't.
the
approve
minutes for that
policies and
day.
personnel.
so
The other appointments were made.
as building and grounds, I am concerned about the ongoing, snow removal for, good intent. I want to make sure that someone is handling that because it is not the commissioner's job to handle day-to-day things. But I would like to make sure that everyone's being safe in Mount Holly and that the sidewalks are clear for that building. Oh, we didn't pass the bill list. Well, then we should talk about the bill list.
I've made temporary, on the buildings and grounds aspect and the snow removal, I've made temporary arrangements to get plowed if we do get snow. With one of our current contractors.
Which contract?
Who?
Give me, who does the building maintenance?
Pipes construction. Pipes.
Pipe construction.
So Pipes Construction. Thank you for letting us know just now because I've been very concerned and I've sent emails to our lawyer who has not responded to the worry I've had through the liability of not shoveling that property. But in the future, I would appreciate if you're going to appoint us as part of one of a committee, that if you're going to make a move, all you have to do is CC us. That's the appropriate way. You're a man of business. I work with you recently, and I know you know how to CC.
I'm also under the impression that there's some leaks happening. How and under what conditions are those being, I mean, I'm aware of them by virtue of the public making me
Yeah,
aware.
I talked to Kyle about that, and it's because of the flat roof on that section.
Mhm.
And because of the ice and snow we had backup wise, that, it didn't drain off the roof and backed up and went over one of the vents. So they're figuring out how they correct it.
Hey, Commissioner, how about using that mic for,
I am trying, sir.
no, you're not doing it.
To- to-
We're here only here two
We need to move on.
individuals.
All right, apparatus and equipment, any report?
Oh, actually, I had something for apparatus and equipment because I know we're working closely with the apparatus officer, but I was hoping that maybe I could be provided the apparatus requirements and equipment requirements from the apparatus officer. This is a official and professional ask, where I was worried if I sent an email, I would not get a response. So I'm hoping that I can get a list of requirements for the apparatuses to be driven. Thank you.
And,
I'm sorry, Jay, repeat that.
We have I would like the requirements for the dryers to drive the apparatuses per the apparatus officer. That's all. That's official, I'm asking publicly, so it's in the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
so apparatus and equipment would be you and I, Jules, if I'm not speaking out of turn.
Correct.
So there was an email sent by your designee with regard to the chief apparatus officer ensuring who would drive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Have you been given any knowledge about that you're willing to share with me as your colleague on that committee and the town at large and members of this district?
I have no direct knowledge of this one.
Okay. To that, I had an opportunity to visit with some of the Relief Fire Company and did mention to them that I would like an opportunity to have a tour through of our equipment, exactly what it does, some of the things that are necessary, some of the things that we have recently replaced. And if you're interested, when I set a date for that, I would love for you to join us.
Absolutely.
Outstanding.
All right, anything from planning and services? Budget and finance, there's nothing?
I have some questions for the Budget and Finance Committee.
Go right ahead.
So Mrs. Gaskell, excuse me, Commissioner Gaskell, Chair Thiessen, how much of this re-preparation of the budget was done with the two of you present? Like, can you explain to me the changes that were made and why they were necessary?
In general terms, yes.
Please.
Obviously, because the purchase of the fire trucks last year was not done properly in August of 2025. The purchase of the trucks was not done properly. Because if it was a lease, because it's a lease purchase, That's what changed the dynamics. And unfortunately, it's something that's strictly for fire districts. The township it's not something townships have to comply with. It's strictly for fire districts. For some reason, the DCA has rules that apply to fire districts, don't apply to others.
Correct, and that would have been an administrative oversight of that purchase, correct?
That would be correct.
Okay, so I'm led to understand that by virtue of one of our shared service agreements, we have a QPA. Is the QPA that we have unaware of the rules that apply to a fire district?
The QPA was not required for this purchase because it was purchased through the state system.
Okay, so the QPA wasn't even consulted on a, what was it in total, $60-ish thousand purchase to make sure that we were doing things under the auspices of the DCA? Rita, were you consulted upon the purchase of these vehicles?
Yes.
And you were unaware of these rules?
Yes, actually, I actually questioned when we were doing this, and the attorney stood by the fact that the lease was fine the way it was being done. So we actually had consulted the attorney at the time, and he signed off on it, and he.
So our attorney was unfamiliar with the rules that apply to
Exactly.
fire districts?
Yes.
If
So-
we had a fire district attorney, they probably would have picked it up. Since we don't
If
have,
we had an RFP, we'd have one of them a whole lot faster.
I think you're gonna be hard pressed to get a fire district attorney.
I wholeheartedly disagree with that assessment, but I suppose we'll see when we finally get an RFP.
All right, new business.
To revisit that, you did not appoint a personnel and policy committee at our December reorganization meeting. And, I'm wondering if you intend to do that in light of this, especially in light of the fact that again tonight, you're forwarding appointments made off a policy there are still legal questions about. So are you intending to appoint a personnel and policy committee, or are you treating that the same way that you're treating the current people filling these roles on a month-to-month basis from their previous appointments?
I'm sorry, your question was what?
My question is, who is your personnel and policy committee?
I have not put in another person, right, obviously I'm on there, but I have not put in another person.
Well, it wouldn't be obvious you were on there because you didn't suggest that you wanted to serve on the policy and personnel.
Oh, I did.
Okay, well, you did not do that at the December meeting, so thank you for clarifying that.
I did.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I did want the public to know that I did hear Commissioner Gaskell say, Jules, just ignore them. I hope that's on the record, even though you guys may not have been able to hear, I could.
I did that. Whatever.
Okay, we're gonna move to new business.
I think we should, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I know that I got things out of screw. Sam needs us to approve the bill list.
I'm sorry,
Number 5.
Because.
approval requisitions, thank you very much.
My sincere apology.
All right, does anybody have any quick questions on the bill list?
I had some questions for Sam. She's gonna forward the information on to me.
Okay.
Wonderful, thank you kindly.
Any other questions on the bill list? All right.
Second.
Move to approve and seconded. We have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Lowe,
I'm gonna abstain until I have a chance to view that information. Thank you.
Commissioner Shepherd,
Yes.
Commissioner Saucier,
Yes.
Commissioner Gaskell,
Yes.
Chairman Beason.
Yes. All right, we're gonna move on to new business. Resolution, we're gonna.
So I would like to I would like to ask you to do something for me. This time last year, a decision was made to shut off the voices of the people in this town. A decision was made that they were not permitted to comment on the business that we do on their behalf with the use of their dollars until after it is done. I made this request of you last month, and you will find me making it every month going forward, that we allow the people of this community to voice their concerns before we do this business. I would like for you to move public comment on anything we're voting on prior to its vote. I understand and respect that you have a flight to catch, but if you'd like to make that now for both of these things, it'll be just fine with me if you leave after this one.
Or if you're really worried, we could always table it.
That we certainly could, but apparently we can't.
Well, if we table it, we don't have a budget.
Right. And we could easily call another special meeting. If I recollect, Commissioner Saucier is exceptional at that.
There's a timing, just, budget-wise, there has to be 21 days after the initial adoption. And it has to be the DCA by the 29th.
It has to be adopted though today.
First reading. So,
Rita, are we permitted to make amendments between tonight's reading and the reading on the 26th?
No, we are not.
No, we are not.
But you guys made amendments between the first reading and tonight.
Because it was rejected.
Yes, but not ones that were told to the board. So I understand that we were rejected for a certain reason and those changes need to be made. But at the end of the day, changes were made without consulting the board.
To be honest with you, Gina, I thought those changes were made prior to this, to that night. I really did.
They were not. I have the
And
copies.
the reason
in
that
email.
they were changed was because we didn't have signed documents that would be approved by the DCA.
And
So
again,
we then moved on to put them into areas that we could utilize the money for those items without it actually coming out of the budget, but so that it would be able to be approved through the DCA and still have the money available for those items.
and I understand that, but I have not seen the updated budget that was submitted to the DCA. I was not notified of those changes.
I'm not sure that that's true because my understanding is that Skip sent out the updated budget to everyone.
I have
Not
never
since the
received an
DCA
email from Skip under any
Not
circumstances.
since the DCA rejected it. No, no, no.
No, I'm talking before, when it was sent to the DCA, you got the copy that went to the DCA. That was my understanding.
What I got was the Excel spreadsheet and was said, hey, Gina, did you look over in regards to your questions on, during the meeting? And I looked over in regards to those questions, if you look back at the meeting. But it was never brought to the board's attention that we were going to, that we didn't have a signed service agreement. It was never brought to the board's attention that we were removing that budget. We were not, because it looks like it's not there. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't know what the budget looks like.
Okay, well, let me, all I
So-
can say is, I'm gonna read what we have here for, the resolution and why it is in place and what is being done.
So I make a motion to move public comment back to the beginning of our business prior to new business. I make a motion. Can I get a second?
Second,
Moving second, roll call. Motion to move the public,
Public comment back to the beginning of new business prior to our votes.
hi, Dad.
Gina. Roll call.
Commissioner Lowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Shepherd,
Yes.
Commissioner Saucier,
No,
Commissioner Gaskell,
no.
Chairman Beason.
No.
Public comment, yes, that's correct.
Moving public comment on the agenda. All right, we're gonna move on to new business. Resolution, as we previously discussed a little bit before, a resolution to have a 3-month contract with a new solicitor. The solicitor is Nicholas Rapetti. He's with the Lennox law firm.
I'm sorry. We haven't voted on him. So how are you doing? How are we
Trying
doing?
to.
I'm sorry.
So that's not on my agenda at all.
No.
The first thing on my agenda says resolution 2026-001.
We are walked on.
That's walked on. You should have it on your desk.
Okay, well, you gonna tell any of us that you're walking something on?
And does that make it resolution 004, or does it make it 001, since it would be the first resolution of the evening?
The numbers doesn't really matter.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion to, for resolution.
Excuse me, who vetted this man? Just you alone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and does this person have any political connections to any entities in our town?
Not that I'm aware of.
So he's not made any donations to any political PACs in this town? Excuse me?
No.
Oh, I see that his resume is
Read it right
attached,
now?
okay? But what am I'm supposed to review it in the 5 seconds that you want me to review it? Okay, I mean, look, you do realize surely, someone with your depth and breadth of knowledge, you recognize the absurdity of this, do you not?
It's a necessary part.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but it is not your sole authority to decide.
And it's a 3-month appointment. 3 months.
Okay, and again, I will say, I will ask you this flat out. Has this person made any financial contribution to any PAC associated with any campaigns in this town?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Not to the best of your knowledge. Did you vet him?
Paying for your vacation.
Did you vet this man?
I talked to him, yes.
Okay, is anyone else aware of any contribution that's been made?
I mean, are you sure it's not part of the pack you're with, Jason Cardy? That you have, are you sure it's not part, they didn't give anything to the pack that you were the treasurer of?
Yeah, that would be a false statement.
Oh, so that's false. Okay, I'm just making sure. That's double checking.
So, all right, I bet.
So I have you on the record that to your knowledge, this attorney has not made any contribution to the Labor Voice PAC.
I'm not aware of that.
Okay,
All right, so, Nicole seconded, so we have a first and a second on the floor for resolution 2026-004. We have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Ro?
absolutely not.
Commissioner Shepherd?
Abstain. This is the first time I'm seeing this resolution and the information about the law.
Commissioner Salcier?
Yes.
Commissioner Castro?
Yes.
Chairman Peterson?
Yes. Mr. Repetti? No.
Oh, and you're here and you weren't even introduced to me. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir.
You got any money for the pack? Yes, right? No, it's 223 High Street.
No, it's not. They need to know who's me.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Sir? All right, we're going to go on to new business, continue with new business, resolution 2026-001, resolution to amend the 2026 budget pursuant to NJSC 40A 14-73 fiscal year January 1st, 2026, December 31st, first reading by title only. As we discussed previously here,
You're gonna have to bring it to the floor of the vote. We're gonna have to first and second.
no, good point, thank you. So we have a motion to discuss the resolution. We have a second?
I second.
And your opening discussion? Because I have one more question.
It is that, yeah. Roll call? No, we didn't even, I'm sorry. It's been moved and seconded, so we can now discuss it.
No, we didn't. That was for this gentleman. We did not for the resolution for this, did we?
We just did.
We just did.
Seconded it, but it hasn't, but now it's open for discussion.
Right, okay, perfect, thank you.
Just a preamble for, so again, we've already discussed it briefly, but the reason for the redo of the budget on the first reading, we submitted it to DCA. The trucks they purchased in August of 2025, the purchase was done incorrectly because it was a lease purchase and not just a lease. If it had been just a lease, there would have been no issues with it. Since it was a lease purchase, it was done incorrectly. And again, that's something just particular to fire districts, not townships, so everybody that's involved is primarily township attorneys. And until it got to the auditor / DCA, it was not picked up. So our auditor worked extensively with DCA to figure out what was done incorrectly and what we needed to do to correct it. And these are the changes that the auditor worked out with DCA that they would find the budget acceptable, pretty much as it was presented. Things were just moved around from one category basically to the next. So our auditor worked extensively with DCA on that issue. So we're going to open it up to questions at this point from the board.
Would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So unfortunately, I did get to talk to our auditor, who is doing a very good job, and I do appreciate all the work he is putting in to making sure this happens. But I do believe that not all of the board has been led to understand exactly what's in the budget or the changes that were made prior to the DCA submittal.
So when we last met, there was an issue about not having a resolution passed by this body to enshrine the Board of Commissioners' annual salary at a total of $10,000 cost to the district. We were told in that meeting that it was pressing that we get it passed because without it, the DCA could not consider our salary. It was also further explained that that same resolution needed to be mirrored in a township meeting prior to submittal to the DCA. There was not a township meeting between our last meeting and the submittal to the DCA. So I'm assuming that our $10,000 annual salary for this board was omitted from the submission to the DCA. Is that correct?
That is not true. They had a meeting on Monday night. It was approved, and I do have the signed resolution. Everything is fine.
On which Monday night?
This one.
When was our budget submitted?
Our budget was not submitted. The only resolution that had to go before the township was the salary of the commissioners.
To the DCA.
We had an
No,
emergency
that-
meeting on December the 17th at which we had to pass a
Correct.
thing. So that it could
We
be submitted.
passed the
On what
resolution.
date was our budget submitted to the DCA after our December 17th
Excuse
meeting?
me, we're talking about two different things.
No,
The resolution for your salary is what we were discussing with the resolution. The resolution for your salary was approved on the 17th, and then it was taken to the township. The township then approved it this past Monday night, and I do have a signed resolution from the township, so everything is fine in the current budget for the commissioners to receive their salary.
Okay, so I'll say again, our auditor made it crystal clear that both of those signed resolutions were required before we were able to submit that to the DCA with the budget. Our meeting, please let me finish. Our meeting occurred on December the 17th. On what date was our budget submitted to the DCA?
We sent it over to the DCA. The DCA was informed that that, I don't
Within a
know.
couple days.
Within a couple days of our meeting, I think it was the.
So
day
prior to
after.
the close of the December.
Correct.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so then
Only
you
a couple
obtained-
days after that.
So
Now,
we
let me
submitted
finish.
it.
Let me finish
Please,
now.
you're absolutely correct.
Okay, so at that time, we submitted it to the DCA with the approval of this board, with the understanding that it was going through the Mount Holly Township Board prior to the final approval of the budget. And we had to prove that it was on the agenda for the township for them to do that. So they made an exception.
So why didn't we take that same action with regard to the West Hampton Shared Service Agreement that covers us in the event of fire emergencies? Why didn't we submit that $42,000 expenditure in our budget with a resolution from this body suggesting that West Hampton would be in full agreement of a shared service agreement that we had yet to execute that would be completed prior to our final passage of that budget?
We were not able to locate a signed agreement for the prior year, so it became, shall we say, more difficult to convince them that we would be able to have a signed agreement.
So the prior year, who was the chairperson the prior year that would have been able to obtain that for you? Was it Nicole Saucier?
Yes.
Thank you.
And was our director aware of the fact that we would need that shared service agreement in order for the budget to be accepted with the payment to West Hampton to continue our shared service and keep our town safe?
He was in the process of doing negotiations with them, and he was then put on administrative leave.
Okay, so then at that point, we had an acting director. Did they continue to pursue that in his absence, knowing full well that it needed to be there for the budget?
I'm not aware.
But you were aware that we needed it, correct?
Not until we started gathering the documentation that we needed to follow through with the DCA. I knew
So,
about numbers, but I didn't know about documentation that had to go with it until the accountant instructed us as to what was necessary document-wise.
so have you not prepared this budget historically? Is this, it's something new?
That was not on the budget the prior year.
Sure it was.
No, it was not. It was brought in mid-year in 2025.
and you were unable to locate that agreement.
It's signed by one person, which would not have flown with the DCA.
Right, but it could have been presented to this body that night.
You know, Rosemary, this is, you know, we have really got to deal with this. Jules is getting ready to leave. We have to talk about what's going on.
That's on him.
It seems problematic to me, Rita, that I'm expected to make these decisions in a window this big when I was not informed there would be any time constraints. Okay, and that is not the question, Nicole.
Would you like to say that into your microphone,
If you would
Nicole?
like to say it, please do.
One at a time, please. I just will say, I do have to leave in 1 minute. So all I'm gonna say is about the fire budget, again, it has to be voted by a supermajority. So the 4 of you that are left have to agree on the passing of the fire budget on, just, let me finish. On first reading. If we don't agree on the supermajority on the fire budget in the first reading, the fire district will not have a budget for 2026, and they will be ineligible to collect taxpayer money in 2026.
As you understand it, as described by the auditor, but not described by any attorney familiar with fire district and DCA regulations, is that correct?
That would be a correct statement.
Okay,
But
excuse me,
It was
Mr. Solicitor.
stated by the DCA.
Excuse me, Mr. Solicitor, I'm so sorry, I don't recall your name.
My name's Nick Rapisi.
Nick Rapisi, how familiar are you with fire district law and
I'm not-
DCA regulations?
I'm gonna answer your question. I'm not in a position to give an opinion on that particular question. Mr. Chairman, my understanding was that there was a motion pending on the, motion pending on the table to.
And so you cannot, excuse me, you cannot speak to the ramifications of this body not
I
passing
will
this?
defer to our financial professional who would go through this.
Our conversation with the DCA
Uh-huh.
stated that if we do not approve this budget with.
That they would never look at another budget being forwarded to them?
We will not be eligible because we are on a deadline and they are doing.
Well, we were on a deadline for the last meeting and we just ignored that.
They are giving us special exceptions to try to get this budget approved. If you do not decide to approve it, that's up to you. But I will tell you that if the district is not able to accept the public's district tax, we will not be able to function, period. And there will be no district at all. There's no way.
Well, without an attorney having commented on that, I think it's highly disingenuous for us to even attempt to take this vote.
My understanding is that DCA has relayed to us that there is a timeline and a deadline for approving the budget, which requires a first reading and a second reading. And for
And
the district to meet the deadline for the second reading, the first reading needs to be considered and voted upon tonight.
Right, and that was my understanding with last month's budget, and we were told that no changes, tonight we're being told no changes can be made between the first and second reading. However, last month, they made changes between that reading and sending it to the DCA. Right, so we're now making changes between the first and second reading. So is your understanding based on reporting to you from our clerk and our chair and not directly from our auditor or with any personal knowledge of fire law or?
That is
DCA?
correct, given the timeline that I've been involved
Okay.
in. It's based upon the communications that I've received.
And the people.
What, I'm sorry, wait a minute. You've received communications about district business?
Just in preparation of this meeting here tonight, and the budget being on the agenda.
And when were you prepared for the contents of this meeting?
Today.
Okay.
Now, in good conscience, I know either way that we are giving a budget to the DCA, that the first page says we have things on our website and we do not.
Okay. I have done a deep dive into the website and I did send over, I want to say 95% of the resolutions to Greg. I don't know that they've been brought up yet, but because I think that was like 2 days ago that I got that far. I do have a couple that I found hard copies of that are not signed that you need to sign. And I am missing about 8 for the year of 2025. I have updated the the website for the vendors over, our threshold, that we have to have those, on there. I updated that. I brought to his attention that we had to bring some changes to the committees, but I wasn't sure what they were yet. So I am diligently trying to get that, like where we need to have it for, it to be compliant with that first page of it.
But as of right now, we are giving false information to the DCA.
They are also in a position where they have skipped the time frame for us to get things under control. I am doing everything I can to make that happen.
But not
So
the
basically-
time frame to let us figure out the rest of the budget or to
No,
adjust it?
no, because this stuff is, honestly, there are other fire districts that don't even have things up on their website for 10 years prior. And I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying it is not one of their major priorities. When they're dealing with finances, that's their major priority.
Well, I mean, you do understand how it concerns me that it's not the DCA's priority that our business be transparent, not only to the people that we serve, but to the members of this board. Do you know there are resolutions missing from that website, minutes missing from that website that I have never been privy to as an elected member of this board? I brought this same concern last year at the reorganization meeting when I was brought in and I said to you, hey, this doesn't match. And I was told, they don't really pay so much attention to that, right? And now here we are a full year later and having had an administrative director for 9 months, and we're still not up to date on it. And we're certifying that we are.
Again, it's not really my job, but I took
And
it on
that's
to
not
make
the question,
sure.
Rita. How did that become your role?
Because I want to get stuff up and running properly.
Right.
So therefore, I'm taking the time, I took my entire Christmas vacation to do nothing but do deep dive on where I can find these resolutions. I've made copies of them, I have them, and like I said, I sent them up to Greg. So I don't know that they're there yet, but they weren't sent them to him either.
Commissioner Saucier, as the designee of the acting director, Commissioner Thiessen, where are these resolutions and why have they not been able to be enshrined in our website?
They were in a folder, which was given.
I'm
to
sorry,
me.
I'm sorry, I was speaking to Commissioner Saucier.
Mike, please.
It depends on which ones they are, but there's some that were tabled.
Mike,
that weren't
Mike,
sent.
Mike, hear you.
I can hear me just fine.
Okay, but the public needs to hear you, that's why we budgeted $60,000 for an audiovisual system. So they deserve to hear our voices as much as we have to listen to theirs.
Okay, we need to keep parliamentary procedure here and stick to the agenda.
Right, and we're having a discussion of the bill.
Discussion of the budget, continue with the discussion of the budget.
So that is my question.
If our salaries were on the budget and we were allowed to talk about it during a special meeting, we can talk about the website information that was in the budget, sir.
It's
That's
the
not
back and
what's on
forth that I am commenting.
Well, if we are only voting on this resolution, then we are not voting on the budget. Because this is not the budget.
It says it's the amendment.
The amendment to the budget. And
It's an
on the
amendment, but it
resolution-
is not the full budget.
It's an
You were
amendment
given
to
the
budget
budget
you
prior
already
to this,
have.
and these are the only changes, and we're not going to take the time in redoing everything on the budget until we get this approved. Otherwise, we're going to be continually doing it over and over and over again. It doesn't constitute our time if you're not going to approve this. Because we're spending hours and hours trying to get this out on there properly. And if you're not going to approve this, there's no reason for us to make the changes to the budget.
So then we
And
should
there-
just take the vote. Yeah.
All right, well, if you don't want to hear, we have to say, and you're set in your ways, Commissioner Saucier, of course we can take the vote. If you don't care if 4.8% increase in the people in Mount Holly is a problem, yeah, absolutely we can take a vote.
Holly too.
If you
And
think
you're
that your
getting
salary,
$2,500 annually, or excuse me, $2,000 annually from this district. So I imagine that will alleviate the tax burden for you.
There's not, that is not that much. Do your math.
isn't it like $1,200 a household, average household?
Yeah, well, if your house is appraised at $350,000 in this town, you're gonna pay $924 of it in fire taxes. Well, and My point stands, Nicole, 4.8%.
Again, we're
The average
deviating
cost of
from the
living
budget
increase
here, and I
For our
think
senior
that
citizens is 3%.
We need to,
But I don't know if you, the public heard that it's about Commissioner Sassier and how much it affects her and not you.
Rosemary, what was the 3% comment? I'm sorry.
Our senior citizens get a cost of living increase of 3% annually. Our fire
Last
budget
year-
taxes eat that and then some.
And last year, there was 0 increase in the tax
Correct.
budget. So if you want to try to equal it out, like,
Yep,
do it
and,
that way and justify it that way because it's necessary.
so it's been a 4.5% increase from 24 to 26. 3-year change was 17.5%. I mean, we've consistently raised taxes with the exception of last year since 2020.
Yeah.
Right? And I
21
believe
was-
that we got the building, right? And way back in 2020, our budget was $850,000. Okay? This year, our budget is slated to be $1,968,80. Why is that? What do we need?
Okay, let's talk about the district tax. In 21, it was 87% increase.
Yep, because of this
In
building,
22, it was 0.5% increase.
which I still can't get an answer on what we actually paid for this building.
And
Not from anybody in the building. So you understand my
We are-
frustration.
we are working on that.
I appreciate that you're working on it, Rita, but the building's been open since 2021.
Okay, all right. When, at the last meeting, Skip and I discussed it, and we are trying to come up with a better, firmer figure for you.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know that members of this body were harassed and harangued by members of the public last year about that increase. And then every time I ask about the number that was supposed by a member of the public, I'm asked, where did that insane number come from? Well, that insane number came from a member of the public who is now an employee of this district. And yet when I ask, what about this number? I'm told, that's an absurd number. So who am I to believe? Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Like I said, I'm looking into that with Skip. But again, if you look at the last 5 years, you're looking at 87% increase, 5% increase, 19% increase, 12% increase. And then last year, there was 0% increase, and we're looking for a 4.7%.
We're raising taxes 4.8%, and we're offering paid stipend program that our volunteers get a portion of money if they volunteer as members of the paid duty crew. If for whatever reason their lifestyle does not afford them the ability to take a duty crew shift, they used to get an annual stipend. Now they get nothing.
And I believe that is being revisited. So
Excellent. At what, I mean, we did it this year to them without even telling them we were doing it.
I'm employed, I do what I'm asked to do. That is getting revisited. And as far as the duty crew is concerned, that was voted on and approved. And I believe it was, yes.
There was no financial information included with that program.
It was approved by the board.
Just the staples of the program.
The outline of how to do it, not the finances for it.
I don't know, that's not my department.
Well, you can look at the resolution. No one ever agreed to a price point on what the duty crew was gonna cost. No one did, and that's fine. The program has done well and it's exciting, but the funds were never discussed or approved by resolution. They just weren't.
Trying to do this budget with so many people out on leave, trying to figure out where things are coming from, where they're going, what the needs are. This has been a lot, to say the least. And we now have it to the point where we know what it is. And all I can tell you is if you guys don't all vote for this and approve this tonight, we might as well close the doors because there will be
I mean,
no
you keep
tax.
saying that, right? You keep saying that, and the chair has said that, but the auditor who graced us with his presence last month, and I'm grateful for it, please don't take that as shade.
He is
Okay.
in Penn Hospital today.
Okay, again, I was making no inference to his absence other than the fact that I see him once a year, right?
Yes.
So I didn't hear that from him. I heard it from you and I heard it from Jules. And I've not had any attorney tell me what the actual legal consequence of this is And I'm sorry that I will not be fear-mongered
Gina, you were
by people
given
who have been
an email.
historically dishonest with me.
Gina, you were given an email from Skip that stated that.
What Skip stated is that with his discussions with the DCA, that we will not be certified, our budget will not be certified by the DCA, and at that point, we will not be able to collect taxes. It did not give me any time frame. It did not make any understanding. And when I talked to Skip on the phone, he was very clear that he does not know DCA law and that I should talk to a lawyer. I reached out to our solicitor, who apparently was not our solicitor, and no one told me, and they didn't respond. So I can't make the decision I need to make
And
tonight.
he also used the wording, you are running out of time.
He said that, but I don't know what that means. We could
Okay.
meet again tomorrow night. I mean, honestly, we could if we wanted to have a special meeting. We could meet again on Friday. We could meet again on Saturday.
We wouldn't be able to
We
do
would
that
not be
because
able
our
to.
chairman is away for the next 2.5 weeks.
And it's not in the time.
The time, when I looked at the 2024 timeline, we did have time, if it's the same.
It's not. It's new, it's different every year.
Well, if it's different this
I get a
year,
calendar every year that states when it's for.
I'm sorry, I wasn't treasurer and no one gave me the information. So I, again, cannot make an educated decision.
Okay. So. Your choice.
Why is it my choice when I was
Your
treasurer?
fault.
Listen, when I was treasurer, this wasn't an issue. When I was treasurer, we didn't raise taxes. When I was treasurer, we went through this and we had questions. So is it my choice, or did the last year be mishandled by the board? Then that's the question.
I
And
don't
that's,
particularly like that accusation, Gina. We have done great pains to make this happen.
well, and I didn't say you, I said by the board. Are you part of the board, Mrs. Brooks?
No, but you're accusing the budget,
I'm just saying.
talking about the budget.
I don't
which
believe
is
any
more
such
than-
accusation was made. You just made it crystal clear that you're just doing your job.
We need
What
to
you're
turn
told.
the
So
discussion
please-
back to the budget.
Please don't, this is not a
And-
personalities
and-
issue.
and If there's discussion on the budget, it can continue. If not, it should be put to a motion if it's going to be put to a motion.
I didn't hear the motion in second. It was probably me.
What did you say?
Okay, that's what I
And
thought.
here.
And June second, correct?
Yeah.
Are you just unaccountable? Is that what it is? Use
I'm
the
talking
mic.
to myself, actually.
Use the mic.
Up. The meeting's not open to the public at this time.
Which Jason are you talking to?
Shameful.
Folks,
I'm gonna ask for decorum, and if not, you will be escorted out.
Well, I'd like to say that, is the new solicitor available for, conversation, sometime after this meeting, after the decision is made? Not today, but tomorrow, if I call you and I have questions about the DCA issues, could you please respond? Or is that something you're only going to do with the chairman?
I will be available for discussion with the board at some point in time, yes.
At some point in time, is what you said?
Yeah, I know it will not be tomorrow morning.
Okay, so he is unavailable to anyone but Jules Thiessen, is that true?
I did not say that.
Oh, you did not say that, okay, thank you.
Can I have a roll call?
Commissioner Lowe,
Is this a vote or a roll?
this is a vote. On 2026-001, I believe.
This is the budget vote.
This is the budget.
Somebody has to make a motion.
They
Yeah,
already-
we
they
already
already
we're in
did.
discussion after a motion and a second had been made, folks. Solicitor, when there is not a full quorum, what constitutes a supermajority?
You still need all 4 votes.
Sam, do you have the meeting minutes from last month? Can you look and see what my vote on the budget was last month? I would very much like you to do that, please, because I was not provided with the minutes. Unless somebody here has them electronically, I'm happy to view them that way.
Do you, pause the meeting, or
We should recess if you're going to leave, and this motion's on the table.
Because it's
so
gonna-
do we have to make a motion to recess, or?
We should, yes.
Motion to recess, 5 minutes.
Oh, I'll second recess, yeah.
Commissioner Gaskin?
No.
Commissioner Saucier?
No.
So what are we doing next?
Well, that was to the draw. Okay. Do you have it electronically, Sam? Oh. If I recollect, last month I voted no on this. And I cannot in good conscience, in absence of legal advice and in the absence of a conversation directly with those who have a deep knowledge of the DCA regulations, be guided by what I believe is emotionally manipulative language designed to make me behave. So my answer tonight again is no. And if that affects me, wait a minute, I'm not proud of this. I am not proud of this. If this has the impact that I've been led to believe that it does, and this falls as a result, that will be on my shoulders, folks. So I want you to understand that I do take this very seriously, but my integrity means more to me, and I hope that that's why you put me in this seat.
Commissioner Shepherd?
Abstain.
Commissioner Saucier?
Yes.
Commissioner Gaskin?
Yes.
So now we open the floor for public discussion about the budget addendum only.
Yes.
Each person is allotted 3 minutes to speak as this is.
May I run the meeting, please?
Sure, you hadn't been up till now, so I just assumed we were
Well,
gonna
I
let the
was
charge
trying
of the
to keep it
attorney.
together since, Open to public for discussion. Each member of the public may discuss. Each member of the public may discuss the budget addendum only in this portion. Each person is allotted 3 minutes to speak, and as always, this is not structured as a question and answer session. Members of the public are only allowed to speak once. First row? Hi, Lois.
Hello. Louis Shepherd, 1911 Drive, South Citizen.
Can't hear you, Louis.
Oh,
You might not be on, yeah.
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Louis Shepherd, 1911 Drive. One question, the budget this, the bill this, how you call, about the fire hydrant.
This is only about the budget. The budget that just got
That's
voted.
including my height itself, right?
Hey, Louis,
It's only for the budget addendum.
we got a little more business to do after this, and then we're gonna open it again to the public to discuss anything that doesn't have to do with the budget. So if this doesn't have to do with the budget directly, would your comment keep until then?
Okay,
All right,
disagree with the 4.8, tax hike. Thank you.
Understood.
thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Still in the first row, other side. Second row. Moving on to the third row. All right, who's next behind that? Because I honestly can't see.
Third row.
I said third row, nobody, I didn't see anybody. Hello, Ms. Ford.
Hello, happy Wednesday, Maureen Taylor Ford, 117 Branch Street. Just want to stand up here and say I totally disagree with the 4.8. I think I said last meeting that Social Security increase was 2.8. That is 2 points over what you guys are charging. My concern is for the elders in the community. If they can barely get a 2.8 increase in Social Security, I don't know how you expect them to pay 4.8, specifically when a lot of the elders in our community have additions to their home, which bring their home value up way past $350,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maureen. Next row.
Jenna Champion, 3 Birch Avenue. I know I'm not the only person in this position. When our taxes our property taxes went up this year, it officially surpassed my mortgage. I pay more for property taxes than I do to pay for my house. Think about that. We've been in this town for 12 years. What's gonna happen in another 12 years? I'm assuming that most of us won't be able to stay in the state of New Jersey because of all the taxes that we have to deal with. But I don't spend what I don't already have, because I know that I cannot go to my boss and say, this is what I need to make, because I have expenses. So you need to figure out how to pay me 4.8% extra this year. It doesn't work that way when you're fiscally responsible. That is something that someone who's in credit card debt, who's in bankruptcy does. This town needs to start figuring out how to live below its means so that we do at some point become fiscally responsible and I can keep my daughter in the school that she loves. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Zeke.
What are you watching on your phone?
Not watching anything on my phone.
Candy Crush? Oh, you got a minute. Rita, we talked last time about cash and what the cash is doing. If the cash is working for the taxpayers or the cash is sitting in a bank account, helping the bank get rich. Has anything been done with the cash?
I've been told I'm not supposed to answer. However, in this particular case, I will, because I want to squash this as it goes. The reason we have not put our money in different places is because the township has been unable to pay us in a timely fashion. It is often the fact that we get our first quarter about 3/4 of the way through the year, and we get maybe 2 and 3 at the end of the year. Therefore, we have to have that cushion in our account to be able to do something. As of today, they are totally up to date, and we have been discussing that.
So the cushion is always there. So when you have a bank account at a bank and it's in a money market, it's liquid as water.
No, we have our stuff in interest-bearing accounts. Don't get me wrong. We're not just sitting with our money there, but we need to have that where we can pay our bills with it. Like I said, the
The
township
operating
is,
capital, all right.
yeah, the
Yeah, okay,
township is up to date now, so we're in a much better position, and I have been discussing that with Jules.
Okay, good. Counselor, where are you located? Local, Mount Holly?
We have an office in Mount Holly, we have an office in Lawrenceville, where our headquarters is. But that is not public discussion, it's related to the budget. So we're going to turn the public discussion back to the budget. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Did you guys donate to the Labor Voice? Do you know that?
My law firm has not made any political donations to anyone in.
Good, I'm glad.
But we are not discussing my role or my law firm. It's the public
Still can't hear you,
portion.
it's all right. I
It's the
get it.
Public portion to discuss the budget, and we're going to turn back to the agenda. Thank you.
Great. Well, I'm glad Jules was right. It's important. Rita, thank you so much. I think you guys really, some people up there are doing a good job. Most of you guys are doing a good job. Just you're doing great jobs on different sides. It's unfortunate that one side is working for a person that basically ruined this in the last 6 months, really screwed things up. And when they're talking about how things got ruined, Rita, they weren't talking about you. We know it wasn't you. All right, appreciate it.
Rita, can I ask a quick follow-up to your answer to Mr. Riley? You said you had been instructed not to talk about that. Well, that's the first I'm hearing of it. So who instructed you not to talk about it?
Not to talk about that. I was instructed to not answer questions during public discussion, public speaking. I was told that we were not supposed to answer at that time.
Okay, no, I appreciate the clarity. Thank you very kindly.
Sake, is there anybody behind you? Well, I know there's people, but I meant like next. Hi, Mr. Bratz.
How's it going? Gary Bratz, 536 Garden Street. A few of you may have seen this Excel worksheet. There's a chart at the bottom here. If the commissioners want a copy of it, I'd be happy to hand it to you all, read it, maybe you want a copy as well. This breaks down the annual budget from 2020 to 2026, the present one we're discussing right now. Also, the tax levy in years 2020 to 2026, as well as the millage rate of the tax rate per $100. So it goes through from, if you're following left to right, budget, taxes per year, and if your house is appraised for $350,000, how much you would actually be paying to the fire district at that assumed price. So if you're following the math on that, the way it would work, if your house is appraised at $350, divided by 100, that's $3,500. You then multiply that by the rate. That millage rate is in the budget, like page 7 or 8, it's stated right there. So you can see from 2020 to 2026, that's about tripled your annual tax bill for the fire district. Now, I do agree that to build this building, taxes did have to go up, it's understandable. There's a large bond issuance of about $7.9 million. Obviously, the funds have come from somewhere, and that's your taxes, is how it's getting there. So what I wanted to show here, this is our visual learners, myself included, what we're looking at. Now, if this was your retirement portfolio up and to the right, that would be awesome. People love that, especially if you own assets. Up and to the right is a good thing. If you're looking at your tax bill, up and to the right is a really bad thing. So the fact that, I also included the annual increase. Rita, you discussed that earlier. I agree with all that. Nicole, you said the same thing. The problem with taxes aren't that they go up 4% a year here and there. It's the cumulative effect of over 6 years, they've gone up 176%. 5 years, it's about 48%, a bit better. So obviously there's these big lumpy increases, but it's just working its way up. And the issue is, someone just mentioned that it's becoming hard to afford your lifestyle in town. Mount Holly is a blue collar working community, and $1,000 for your fire district, maybe that's reasonable for you, maybe not. That's a lot of money for a lot of different people. So, and I reached out to Jules over the weekend, I'm a public accountant. I said, I would love to help find a way to pull this budget apart. And the fact that we can't find $75,000 to push off a tax hike on a $2 million budget seems crazy. There's plenty of budget maneuvers to open up the restricted fund or unrestricted funds to move that cash to a place where it doesn't lead to a tax hike. There's also just overspending. I mean, looking at the budget in 2020, it was $850,000. It's doubled in that time frame to now. So I just want to make sure that everyone has a copy of this. It's all public information from your website. The budgets are all up there. Again, I offered to help with Jules on this. I was very sincere about that. I think that there should be a collective effort, not just throwing out numbers and seeing where it lies, because this does come out of your pocket. People here have to work to afford the tax increase. And if they're not seeing that benefit, it's not worth it.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Brooks.
I implore you to reconsider the budget and amend it. And I find it impossible to believe that the state won't accept it a few weeks late. So I appreciate your time. I know this is a thankless job most of the time. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Thank you.
Mr. Brouts, really quickly, just for clarity's sake, did I understand you correctly that you reached out to the chair and offered your services and your expertise free of charge to this district in an attempt to lower the tax burden that we're going to implement on the town?
I emailed Jules Sunday evening saying I would love to help push off the tax hike. I would voluntarily provide my services for that. This is the second set of eyes do the same kind of thing. That's exactly correct.
And did you receive any response at all?
I did not.
Thank you very much.
Sure. There's a few copies of this. I'll leave them on the table.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure. Thanks.
Next, I can't see that far back, so who's next? Anyone? Hello, David.
Hello, David Viella, 166 Franconcas Road. We're talking about the budget, so I'm kind of questioning how many of you have financial degrees like Brock or myself. As I quickly look at this, I wonder, why do you give it out on today? Why don't you give this out a month so we can analyze it or someone can audit it? Now, according to what I did real quick, I noticed that you have 23 items that are going up and only 3 things that are going down. That math doesn't do right. And as far as speaking why the budget, well, it's important because if you don't do it, like Rob pointed out, you go quickly from 1 year and you can state whatever you want that the previous year has 0, but that's a myth. If you go accordingly, in 6 years, you could go up to 176%. That's a huge increase. So if you want the taxpayers to, in 2 years, and then you're thinking about having a paid, because Jason Carty wants a paid fire department, so that's gonna increase to 2,000, 3,000. You may shake your head, and I respect you, but if you want to, speak into the mic and counter me. As far as I'm looking at it, I'm confused. Why don't you give the budget to the ladies here on the right and they can audit it in time, 1 month ahead? When do you start preparing the budget? Budgets, when I worked with the corporations, we did it ahead. 6 months, we ordered them. We didn't order them the day before or in secret. You're supposed to do it in giving it to sharing it to everyone else. You should publish it in public as well so that we can all look at it. And those who have knowledge can kind of analyze it and give their opinion. It's important to have that. By you doing what you're doing, we don't know if you're hiding the money or if you're doing parties or if you're just taking control or if it's a power thing. If it's a power thing, then you're in the wrong business and you should step down because this is the Mount Holly. I don't want my taxes to increase. I didn't come here for my taxes to go up more than my mortgage, as the young lady said. That's not right. I think we should all have a say in how our taxes are applied. And if you think that it's not gonna go and pay Mount Holly, last meeting, there was 2 fire people from out of Mount Holly who said, oh, just watch it. It's gonna change. And that's on video. So if you wanna address that, we can. Thank you. I hope you do something.
Anyone else?
I know it's a ghost in here. Joseph Sands, 117 Tatum Street, Woodbury. Also property manager here in Mount Holly as well. So we're pushing the agenda that if the DCA doesn't have this in the next couple of days, we can't get the budget through. When I sat on that very board right there in 2024, we waited until April to finalize the budget. What is the issue that we can't possibly push it back another month to finalize this budget to get these situations squared away? Also, we want to cut fat from the budget. Why are we paying West Hampton $40,000 and a budget of $300,000 for a stipend duty crew program? Why are we going to give a person to a 24% raise that is currently on administration leave that would go into effect tonight? Like, there's things we can cut fat in this budget and make it feasible for these residents, these taxpayers here. And granted, I don't live in this township, but I do manage properties in this township, which makes my renters' rents go up, and it's not fair to them either. Nothing. Okay. Maybe we should think about our taxpayers, not our personal agendas.
Friends and family.
Thank you, Mr. Sams. Rita, as a quick follow-up to that, is there any accuracy to that the budget in 2024 was not submitted and finalized until April?
I'm not recalling that, and I have a very, very strict calendar here that shows what our budget requirements.
Oh, I'm familiar with what the requirements are. I'm asking if you have ever gone outside. You have no recollection as our finance clerk? And you were our finance clerk in 2024, correct?
But at that time, Ryan took care of practically everything.
So at that time, what were your responsibilities?
I met with Ryan and went over line item things to make sure that things were in the right place for him to budget.
Okay.
He basically took care of.
Okay. We would be able to check that, correct? What the date of submission on that was? Wonderful. Do you think maybe if it's convenient, you could pull that for me, maybe by week's end? Excellent. And would the DCA have that information if you know?
I don't know, Rosemary. I don't-
I'm looking for research so that I don't have to put a burden on you,
I
Rita.
don't recall any of that. I don't even know how I can research it, but I will try.
Outstanding. Thank you kindly.
Next. I can't see all the way back there.
Richard Dow, 232 Rutland Avenue, Mount Holly. I just wanted to second basically what this fellow said about the tax rate increase. Just on the way out the door, I grabbed a couple of tax notices. And to put it simply, taxes have doubled since 2019 at 0.097 to 2023 at 0.187. So you're talking about doubling the tax rate in 5 years, whatever this tax increase is. I haven't had a chance to look at it. But at this rate, something was mentioned about what Social Security is paying out for the COLA. What wasn't mentioned was that a lot of that COLA gets wiped out because on the other side, left hand gives, the right hand takes, the Medicare cost goes up. So the fixed income residents of this town can definitely not afford these tax increases. And as far as this building and everything that goes on with it, it was covered by a referendum vote. And it was a separate budget item completely. So I quite frankly don't know what the heck's going on around here anymore. But when it comes to the taxes going up, I sure as hell do. And that's basically it in a nutshell. You break those numbers down, double. You doubled the taxes in 5 years. We can't afford it. So think on that.
Thank you, Mr. Dell. Mr. Lowe, I think you were next.
Jim Lowe, 322 Washington Street. I have a lot of concerns we're here tonight, when it seems like our financial officials either don't know or are confused about what's going on with the budget. The auditor who supposedly put together a budget can't be showing up after his initially submitted budget is rejected or highlighted for problems. The attorney who claims he doesn't know anything about fire district budgets and not familiar with them, and the finance clerk that doesn't have time to answer questions. I'm not a super expert, but I'm very familiar with it. I previously worked as a member of the state legislature who served on the state budget committee. He also worked on committees that were overseen by the DCA. So I have massive, extensive contacts with the DCA discussing these issues and also doing constituent affairs for local government agencies on it. The fire district budget doesn't have to be finalized and submitted until February, not by the end of January. So that's one thing. You guys do have some wiggle room. So if you want to have a special meeting the next few days, to fix these problems, do so. Jules can come back from vacation. That's no big problem. Nicole Salsi scheduled a secret meeting that she didn't inform Commissioner Loeb about, to have an emergency last minute meeting. So she had to come back for her 10th wedding anniversary for a trip. So it'll be no problem for Jules to have to suffer the same fate to take care of the business of the district. If he truly cares about making sure the budget's passed, he'll come back next week, or he can resign and the board can appoint an appropriate alternative in order to cast a vote if he's unwilling to come back to carry out his duties. Also, even with you can amend the budget still at this point. You guys, the board, you're the elected officials. If you're going to amend it for certain things, you can amend it for whatever you want. If that means staying here until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning one night, 5 o'clock in the morning, it's your job to take the people's responsibilities. Local governments occasionally miss budget deadlines. It happens all over the state. There is a little bit of grace and wiggle period. When you get 3 or 4 months out, that's when the state usually gives you problems, and that's when they usually drop the hammer on you with increasingly gentle threats to the point where they might take care of developing your budget for you. But you do have a few months to do it. I wouldn't recommend taking that time. I would recommend calling a special meeting for next week and then actually doing it. All of you discuss it with the Rita or the auditor, I forgot his name, and submit, what change you want to do. I don't think we should be raising taxes 4.8% when we've been raising taxes other than last year after year after year, with the township, potentially raising taxes, with the school districts raising taxes, the county. People can't afford it. There's always room to cut over, especially since Mr. Gary Bras, a CPA, volunteered to work with you to help you fix it. And as Mr. Riley said, you could potentially, be smart with industrial money. If the township is not giving money time, that's something you guys gotta go to the township and demand that they do their job and turn over what is rightfully yours. I thank you for your time.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the portion for the budget.
Jules had been doing the right-hand side
Yeah,
and then the left-hand side, so I think maybe they were deferring.
I'm
to
sorry,
previous
Tara.
practice.
I just said row by row. I was going back. Come on. Because this champion went behind you, so I couldn't see the sequence
of what we were doing, sorry.
Is this working? Hey, Tara Astor, 416 Buttonwood Street. I want to thank Mr. Logue for providing that information, and Mr. Sands, knowing that you do have some wiggle room makes me feel a little bit better. And I was thinking the same thing, like work and amend it to what works for everyone. Have another special meeting. It can be done. And I just want to thank Commissioner Logue and Commissioner Shepherd for that part. Every time you vote on anything, your vote is your record. Your vote is your word. And sometimes it's hard. And I myself at times have voted no on things that some might question, why would you vote no? But we all have our reasons. And once you vote yes on something, you are saying, yes, I agree with this and I'm okay with that. And voting no, when you know there are consequences, is very, very difficult. And knowing what the consequences may be and still doing it because you cannot say yes. So I just want to thank you because it's not an easy thing to do.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anybody else? Okay, seeing none, closing the public portion for the budget. Do we need a roll call for that, Solicitor?
Close the public portion of the budget.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right, moving on to Resolution 2026-002, the resolution authorizing a shared service agreement between Mount Holly Fire District Number 1 and Evesham for technology coordinator services. That was a lot to say.
I first.
Thank you. Are we opening it or are we voting? Voting.
We're opening it. We bring it to the floor and then open it for
There's
discussion.
a first, has it been a second?
First, I'm about to second it. Because it's just a normal resolution. Me.
Now that it's open for discussion, I do have questions about it.
Is this an open for discussion thing or is it a normal resolution?
I think all resolutions are
Discussion.
Okay, I just want to clarify.
Well, technically, this agreement is, Nicole Saucier is no longer the chairwoman, that should be changed at the time. And then my signature, Gina Shepherd, secretary. I've never been legally made secretary. Other than that, I would like to also consider the first page. Now therefore be it resolved, the board chairman and secretary are authorized to execute this agreement on behalf of the district. Previously, the IT services has made it very clear, because I am not the chairperson or the director, that I cannot make requests. But this resolution does say that as secretary, I'm authorized to execute this agreement on behalf of the district.
Execute meaning sign.
So all I can do is sign it. So I wanted to make it clear that IT has done nothing but tell me if I have even the smallest thing like an access issue, it has to go through the director or the chairman. So all I can do is sign it, and I actually have no authority, and IT Literally does not listen to anything anyone on the board says, except the chairman or the director. And as of right now, they are the same person.
I'd like to offer an amendment to this. Can I get a first? I would like to offer an amendment that any member of the board shall be able to make requests of our IT services for things of a general nature.
That would be something you'd have to have a conversation with IT about.
Well, no, that's me offering I'm offering that amendment to this resolution. Right? So if it gets a second, we take a vote on it.
I second that it would further be resolved that all parties of the commission are allowed to make general requests of IT.
So you're motioning to have, I'm writing it down.
To have access to our IT services. I don't even know the gentleman's name. I have no email contact, no telephone number. Never have I been provided with information on how to contact IT. And I've made multiple requests of both our previous solicitor and you yourself, Chairwoman, for information pertaining to emails that may or may not have been sent to me, and all have fallen on deaf ears. And since I have no way to personally contact them, I'd like to amend this agreement so that I can have access to do just that for matters concerning my communications within this district.
So we currently have two motions on the floor. There's a motion to approve this resolution.
Yep.
Speak up. Right, and there's a motion to amend the resolution.
Yes.
Right. So
He's speaking to the board.
we should put the motion to amend the resolution to be.
Say that one more time, I'm sorry, there's too much
The
going on.
motion made on the table to amend the resolution should be put to a vote.
Okay. All right, so Rosemary, you made the motion, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
For clarity of the minutes, I'd like the motion to read that each member of the board has access to IT to make requests regarding their own communications.
Understood.
Okay, and if we want to discuss something beyond that, we can amend it at a later date, or we can introduce new resolutions. Is that correct, Solicitor?
You can always introduce the resolutions at a later date.
Excellent, thank you.
And also, I don't know what your agreements are for IT professionals, but
Okay,
they may need to be consulted on this as well.
okay. So, and
For purposes of this motion, it's been made and seconded, so.
Do we have a, Gina, did you second that?
Yes, I did second it.
Thank you.
Can we get the roll call?
Yep, please. And
Commissioner
this is
Romero?
only for this to amend the agreement.
Yeah.
To amend resolutions.
Yep.
Right, 2026.
Yep, to amend the resolution, sorry.
Commissioner Romero?
yes,
Commissioner Shepherd?
Yes.
Commissioner Saucier?
No.
Commissioner Gaskell?
No.
Motion to accept. So there is also currently on the floor, a motion to approve the resolution. So unless there's further discussion, that should be put to a vote now.
Okay, there was a motion and a second for that. Ms. Lowe motioned, I seconded.
great. Does
Roll call.
this mirror exactly the language of last year's agreement?
I don't.
Well, your name's on it, so, I mean, if you're the one that executed it, I would expect that you should
It
know.
just came in the mail.
Okay, so did you review it? You intend to sign it, and you brought it as a resolution to
I
this
didn't
board.
want, yeah,
So does it mirror the resolution that we had with this same service company last year?
it is the same service company, yes.
Is,
I answered your question.
no, it
I
is,
like
you
the
said it
answer.
is the same service company, which we already agree on, there's no dispute there. I'm asking, does the language in this resolution and the shared service we're entering
Yes.
into mirror exactly the resolution that was passed last year for the same services?
The price
There's been
went
no
up
cost of
slightly.
increase?
Yes.
Okay, is that the only change?
Do you remember what it was? I don't think I do. I think that was, is that one of the ones that was already up before? This is taking too long.
I'm sorry we are bothering you with district, issues.
No, the NUA one is in here, not that one. No. July? No, we did not. I don't know that. I know that there was a slight increase, I don't know what it was. Can we have a roll call, please?
Well,
I
imagine that it's,
There was a slight.
I imagine that it mirrors it because it still lists that the resolution to enter agreement 8.01. The parties acknowledge that the district is entering into this agreement by the adoption of resolution 2025-68.
That was probably one of the ones that got tabled.
Well, 2025-68 would have been last year.
Would have been on our reorg.
2568 was at December 3rd meeting.
Okay.
So I don't remember if that was one of the ones that they decided to table or not.
They had.
Exactly.
Well, you say exactly, and I mean, just for the clarity, so that everybody understands, if I had had the minutes, I could have looked at this myself.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Can we have a roll call?
Commissioner Logue,
I abstain.
Commissioner Shepherd,
No.
Commissioner Saucier,
Yes.
Commissioner Gaskell.
Yes. So if she abstains, that's a negative. She doesn't count.
It's a non-vote, but you still need a majority of the quorum here, which we do not have, so.
It doesn't, okay, even though there was a 2-to-1?
Yeah, because the same thing just happened with the budget.
You need a majority of the quorum present.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I just can't say yes. I go along over and over again. I've asked multiple times for support from IT and I haven't gotten it because I have no access or authority, and it's been very difficult to support the district that way.
I imagine it must have been increasingly difficult to do your job as secretary and answer Oprah requests without any assistance from IT. You know what, can we update my vote on that to a no? Thank you.
Moving right along. All right, moving right along, we are moving to acting officer appointments for 2026.
This was tabled last month and it's not, and it's
I
not
said
a,
acting.
yeah, no,
Let me
it's,
rephrase. I said acting.
okay, and I said it was tabled last month and a decision was made by the chair that anyone in those roles would continue on a month-to-month basis. He just told me prior to leaving that it was put here so that we could have a discussion about it. It's listed as officer appointments for 2026 on this budget, and it differs from the budget, it differs from the agenda you gave me last month, and it differs from the original list of appointments.
But before we get into discussion, is there a?
There is not a resolution for this.
There's not a resolution, these are just appointments. You don't have to do resolutions for appointments.
We do.
What is your?
I'm just trying to follow the agenda.
Have you not been provided a copy? With, no disrespect.
I don't have the agenda.
Okay, so there is no resolution attached to it, right? So,
Yeah, go ahead with the discussion.
Well, motion to open discussion for officer appointments for 2026. Do I have to?
There's no need for motion.
there's no need for a
Okay.
motion because it's not a
Oh,
resolution.
okay, well, then, my biggest concern is that I have not seen a single officer, intent email or letter from any of the officers other than the safety officer, provided during the time period since the, updated procedure that was, voted on several months ago, that has not had a second vote, nor has it been reviewed by council. Oh, I also think,
Well, I think we need maybe a little bit bigger conversation too, although this is a personnel and policy.
personnel.
This is a personnel, so,
Discussed in, without rights.
I'm sorry, can I finish my thought? Thank you. There was also no executive session put on this so that we might have this conversation in private, prior to any discussion on the floor. And as there's no resolution and there's no executive session, I don't believe, I mean, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, solicitor. I don't imagine if you were just beginning your discussions, we brought to speak today, that there's any way you could know what has been going on with this for several months now.
I know what's listed in the agenda, and that is all. And
Correct, but I had pending,
I'm not disagreeing with
Right.
you at all, but,
it was tabled in December's meeting by our chair, and I was asked by the solicitor to provide feedback because I named multiple existing policies that stand in contrast to the policy that was designed to make these appointments and how we've acted outside of that policy on its face
You referring
in
to
these
the policy
selections.
That we all voted on? back
On its
in,
face.
October?
You mean the policy that we were handed 5 minutes before the meeting in October and has had a single reading and stands in contrast to existing policies that either you ignored or didn't consult when you crafted the new policy? Yes, that one.
The one that I crafted
we
in conjunction
need
with.
to turn back to the agenda.
Thank you.
And
With
we need
you.
to make it- we need to make, what is being presented before the board this time? We need to follow parliamentary procedure.
So the chair prior to leaving told me he was bringing it to put on for discussion, not for appointment, not for temporary, not for interim, not for nothing.
He didn't tell me that.
That is exactly what he sat here and said.
If we're being put on for appointment, there needs to be a resolution.
And there is no resolution.
If they're being put on for an appointment, there needs to be a resolution.
We've never had to do a resolution before, but I can.
Of course not.
my also,
Even when the chief and everybody else.
Go, you turn the mic on.
We haven't done
I'm
the chief this year.
speaking to my lawyer.
There should certainly be.
It's a public meeting.
Folks, please stop,
Open to the public.
please stop.
There needs to be a motion that is seconded and a vote of the commissions for the appointments.
Okay.
Okay? If it's a discussion item, you're free to have a discussion item in open session. Now, I don't know, certainly if you're going into an executive session to discuss this, the individual would be entitled to a rights notice, which I do not believe from what I've heard today, that they've been entitled, that they've been provided.
No, they have not.
Discussion can occur in open session. The rights notice is triggered by the discussions occurring in executive session, which is not happening here. So,
But-
if there is discussion to happen, I mean, it can happen, although best practice is that the individuals be issued a rights notice.
And they have the option of being discussed in public or in private.
They have the option to not allow any discussions to occur in private and have all discussions occur in public session.
Or vice versa. I think that's the.
no, it's just in private.
It precludes from the Open Public Meetings Act,
Okay.
precludes you from going into executive sessions discussing.
So we wanted to discuss how some of the authors may or may not have walked off during their duty crew time. We would be able to discuss that in open session.
Well, it's my understanding that yes, we could discuss that in open
Without a
session
rights notice.
without a rights notice, but if we wanted to discuss it privately, that those individuals would have to be riced so that they could say they agreed with us that it was a matter for private consumption, not public consumption. Is that correct, solicitor?
Or if they were, actively disregarding the current officers as well, we could talk about that in open session.
Can we? If they're not listed here.
Turn your microphone on.
My microphone is on, sir.
Speak up.
Okay?
I'm
It's
done.
on.
You've already had warnings. You will be removed.
Well, then I'll say it. If we aren't allowed to talk about these people in private and we weren't given any information in emails or letters of intent, and this is a different list than the original list, and some of these people have not been following protocol or walked off or We're told by Chairwoman Saucier not to follow certain chain of commands at this time. Would that be something I can't talk about right now?
I don't know all of the facts around what you are
Correct.
referring to, so
Okay.
I think that it's difficult for me to provide an opinion here on the spot. What I will say is, if these appointments are going to be considered here tonight, there should be a motion, it should be seconded, and it should be put to a vote. And if not, this discussion should be tabled until the next meeting.
But there should be a resolution for that to happen, correct?
There should be a motion to amend the agenda
Mhm.
to put a walk-on resolution on to approve these appointments. That motion for the walk-on resolution should be voted on. Assuming that passes, the agenda will thereby be amended, and there needs to be a motion and a second to approve that resolution, and then that resolution will be considered by the board.
Okay.
Thank
that
you
was
for
a
clarity,
sir. Motion to amend the agenda to walk on the officers' appointments. Okay. So moved. Can I have a second? I'll second. Can I have a roll call?
Are we numbering it or no?
It will be, what was our last, it will be 5. Resolution to amend.
To amend, okay.
No, it's a resolution to walk it on.
2026.
To amend
It's a
the agenda,
resolution.
to amend the
Amend the
I'm sorry.
agenda to walk it on.
Delightful, thank you for the clarity.
So it's 2026-005.
Commissioner Wu?
No,
Commissioner Shepherd?
No.
Commissioner Saucier?
Yes.
Commissioner Gasco?
Yes. Motion does not carry.
Does not carry.
so now we're in public comment, yeah?
Mhm.
And before we go to public comment, I'm excited that people are interested in new officer positions. It needs to be done right, and that we need to have input from the solicitors. Thank you.
So for clarity,
Public comment.
it's, and my understanding, as of our December meeting, the chair tabled that appointment, left any officer of this district in their role in an acting capacity month to month until such a time as new officers were appointed by this board. Is that correct, Vice Chair?
That would be what I would assume.
So that will be what you communicate to the,
Agenda.
that will be what you
Tonight.
communicate to the entirety of the district and all of its members by email tomorrow? Because that was never communicated to anyone after the December meeting. So I'm asking you, will you enshrine that in an email to everyone tomorrow? And that,
You realize that the chair sets the agenda, right?
okay, well, I realize that you're acting as his designee
Okay.
in the role of director.
Continue.
We're going.
Okay.
Don't worry, I can forward you the email where he said that she was under his direction.
We need to get back to the parliamentary procedure.
Okay, well, I want to make sure that we're recognizing that Rob Allen is the acting chief of the fire district of Mount Holly.
Thank you.
Okay? And that, to my knowledge, Andre Younger is a lieutenant in this district. And I'm sure that Acting Chief Allen can tell you any other officer that was serving in that capacity at the time of our meeting in December, and they should continue to do such, as such, under the direction from the chair at the December meeting, month to month. Yes.
Please. The vice chair can continue.
I'm trying.
Just move it.
This happens all the time. Public comment on agenda matters only. The public comment portion of the meeting is to allow the public to bring their concerns or comments to the board. The board will respect the public's time by refraining from any comments until the speaker is finished. It should be noted that the public comment portion of the meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions, an appointment can be made with the appropriate personnel. We ask that the public state their full name and address for the record and keep their comments to 3 minutes. Members of the public are only allowed to speak once. The public portion is also not for arguing, insulting, speaking out of turn, i.e. screaming from the audience, insulting staff or board members, or inciting riotous behavior, or you will be asked to leave as stated in Resolution 2025-11 that was passed on March 5th, 2025. First row, Lewis.
Queen, who is located of the Mile High resident. I just reviewing over 154 people with watching this video the whole time. That's 85% Mount Holly, 85%. And it's disappointing how it is running. One comment directly from the fire commissioner of Katy Hill. It's my friend and disappointing how it was running. My question is the fire hydrant, how it's being maintained and how it's being paid. If that fit to the budget.
You want to know how the fire hydrants are being paid? Is that the question?
Yeah, how it's being paid or how it's being maintained and how it fit to the budget.
Did you say how they're being maintenance?
Yeah. Or
So,
how it's being rented or being, I'm just curious.
I don't know if anyone can actually speak to that briefly. I think that we rent the hydrants or we lease the hydrants to some effect, and then there's additional expenses involved with that. I might maybe redirect you back to the firefighters to talk about what happens with the hydrants, or you could put an email into myself and I will forward it on to the finance committee to get you a finer answer. Okay? If that's satisfactory, unless one of my fellow commissioners has a better answer for you. So Nicole says that American Water maintains them, but she's not sure much beyond that.
I've seen them. I live right by a fire hydrant, it's the water company that does that.
Because I think that they're responsible for the equipment and we engage them to use the water.
Then you wish to see the itemized of the fire hydrant in the bill?
Right, I'm sorry. I made it clear that I would get a finer answer, that I don't speak hydrant. I'm so sorry.
Okay, can I ask the entire fire commissioner, how does that fit to the budget?
That's part of our normal monthly bills.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like
but
a water bill at home.
we approved the water bill, but was it paid, Sam? Were those water bills paid? It will be tonight, but previously, were we holding any of those payments? And why?
Trying to get our fire hydrant here.
So who said not to pay the New Jersey Water Department?
At the time, the director.
At the director. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, as a guest, and especially, our council member, since this point's on the wrong direction, it needs to be fixed. Thank you, as a guest.
Thank you, Louis.
Hey, Louis, can you tell your listeners that our application for volunteer fire membership is available on our website? And that all the good people in this town who are fit to serve us and would be interested in pursuing that, I would encourage them to do so. Because many hands make light work. And you're absolutely right, things are hard around here. And I would love to see it be lighter by virtue of a happily functioning district and a delighted company. And I think we can get there if we all work together. So maybe if they're inclined to do so, they could reach out for information on that. That's mounthollyfire.org.
Next. Mr. Sedano?
Nick Sedano, 47 Garden Street. You guys have gotten nothing done tonight. And the reason you got nothing done was because you failed to communicate. The last vote, where these two ladies asked for just the ability to contact IT, that's a no? That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, it's just like juvenile hostility. What is this? What is going on here?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I mean, come on, grow up.
Next.
I apologize as I don't have a voice so much, so.
Okay.
Tim Calora, 100 Ridgeway Street. I came not knowing how the meeting would go tonight. A few things, and I thank Louis, a lot of times I can't come because I am an elected official and have board meetings, but I'm just strongly disappointed in the lack of working together. So like our committees, on the school board use Google Docs and write review, like summaries of every committee meeting so that other members can view what those committee meetings were, what items were done in place, so that we can come together to make the agenda and have available weeks beforehand and, before the work session, to talk about the work session. And the functionality of that elected body is very different than this one. And I guess as the new year, started, I was coming tonight mostly to just, and the word juvenile was great because, I also teach at the school down the street. And I've shared Lewis's YouTube videos with students, and what the young kids in our town have said about these meetings from the YouTube videos is what I come today to urge you to think about. Think about the legacy of your positions and the model that is going on here, and what kids in our own town, I can't tell you enough. We were talking about the conversation of positions and why I ran for something, and with no experience in that, as I'm just a math teacher, but I really would urge you to think about I wouldn't repeat what these children watching this YouTube video said to me about the meetings and the back and forth. And it was very eye-opening, and it made me just want to come to a meeting, which again, mine overlap, so I don't always make, but I do always watch and take notes on the things. And I would just say that there has to be a better model we can set for the kids and for other people watching this. And clearly there are so many people that I see in front of me that are putting in a lot of work. You must all be exhausted from the amount of work you're doing, but you're just not doing it together. So even simple questions, and I'm not pointing fingers because I'll never judge the details before I know them, but even things, we rush for a meeting for a deadline and we say, well, we have to do it or we get this huge consequence. And then the simple questions asked, well, 2 years ago when we were done in April, what was the consequence? That would be my first thought is, if we're late, what will happen? Let's look at what happened in the past when we were late. And again, I'm not going to give all the individual examples because I've spent way less time than you all. But I would just urge you to figure a way to please represent yourself so that when you're not on this, you can look back and at least see the positive change that you made or what will bring everyone together. And that's it for me. So have a great night.
Thank you.
Sorry, what was your name? What was your name?
I hope you feel better.
Mr. Kalora, can I ask you a question? You said you're part of a body. Are you invited to participate in what goes on to the agenda? Are you the chair or vice chair of that organization?
I'm on the Mount High School Board.
Okay.
But no, actually.
Okay.
I don't, in a functioning body, right? There is one person that has to come together to make all the items on the agenda because one person would know way more on everything that's underneath. However, everyone would then review the entire agenda in advance of the meeting, so we know all the pieces and all of that are being done on it, and then the actual meeting happens, and then we approve or don't approve that.
Can I ask, on average, how far in advance of your meeting do you receive the agenda?
Before a work session, a week and a half.
Oh, wait, you have work sessions too?
Yeah.
Oh.
So again, because if you don't agree with what's on the agenda, you talk about it. So that would be, yes, and I would say like a week in advance, probably most times.
Okay. Well, I would encourage you to let your students know that I imagine that much of what they see here is likely inspired by the fact that as an elected member of this body, I think it happened once that I got the meeting agenda and the attached resolutions more than 72 hours in advance of a meeting. We meet on Wednesdays and I have a full-time job Monday through Friday. So I have a handful of hours in the evening to review. So I'm happy to come and talk to them and let them know maybe you and I can highlight for them the difference between your elected experience and mine. So we can give them an example of what looks like when it functions well. Thank you for your input.
I'm literally tired, just so you know, I just said. That's what I'm trying to do. Tara, just so you know, I'm doing both rows. When I just say second row, that means both sides.
Right,
Just to
Tara Astor,
clarify.
again, 416 Buttonwood Street. I'm gonna talk fast to get my 3 minutes. For anyone who did see this budget analysis in the back that Gary Bratz did, it is so educational. We just gathered all the information, put it together where you can really see, I don't know, you're owning a $300,000 or $350,000 home from 2020 to 2026. Your average taxes went from 336 to 924. And for someone like, my mother who is retired and her home is paid off, and so she just pays for the privilege of, living in her home that she already owns, having the taxes go up a lot. You're really, you feel it more when you're older and you're not working anymore. And, we together made the financial decision to live together so that we can actually pay our bills and eat and live a comfortable life. And so I think we don't think about tax increases and how they're going to affect everyone, especially if you're making enough money. There are some people that are really struggling to keep their homes. Secondly, as far as the meetings and getting information in advance and learning tonight that you apparently you can't ask questions to IT. Anytime that you don't get the information you need to make an informed vote, that's an insult to me as a taxpayer, because all of you are elected, and for all of you to do a good job and make an educated vote, you need all the information that you can get. So if there's any opportunity where you're not getting the information you need or not getting it in a timely manner, that's insulting to me, and it should be insulting to every taxpayer. You need the information to make an educated vote, and also to be able to ask questions or perhaps table things and revisit them. That's doing your job. So I hope that you get the information you need from the IT department at some point. Thirdly, just for public record, Lennox Law Firm does have an office at 223 High Street, and that building is owned by an LLC called Old School Mount Holly, and that LLC is connected to Mr. Jason Carty. So for the record.
I knew it.
Who is Nicholas Rapici? Is that you?
Sake, have you already?
I am Nicholas Rapici, yes.
Okay, so when I asked you, you're gonna get Jules in trouble, that you donated to RV Democrats.
Excuse me?
Or maybe I said,
No, I didn't understand what you just said.
did you donate money to RV Democrats?
Sir.
$1,000? Is that all it costs to get your job?
First off.
This is not personal. This is not personal, this is business. So I'm gonna get back to business, I'm sorry.
You need to stick to the agenda
I
items.
am. So, the agenda items. Wait. Yeah, that's right, that's true. Yeah, this is public, yeah. So you are Nicholas, you do have an office on 223 High Street. You do pay rent, half the rent to the disgraced former Jason Carty, I think his name was, director, what was his name?
I'm not here to answer questions, but.
It's true.
I
Okay,
think-
just clarifying.
I think your facts are mistaken.
All right, so Jules worked real hard to find you, probably wasn't that hard. This is not personal, this is business. So you can't have a petulant child who posts on Facebook all day long as a person responsible for our public safety. You can't have that, okay? You can't have a treasurer who owes money to Mount Holly Water Authority, okay? You can't have people that are up there that are subject to blackmail. They're not doing what they're told. This is not how it should be done. And unfortunately, I always heard that politics was a business. This is definitely a racket. Between this attorney somehow who was found, but you office at the disgraced director's, former director's building, and you got poor Nicole and June up there catching the heat. I don't know why. You guys are like slaves to nonsense. Just resign. The juice can't be worth the squeeze. There's no way in hell. Whatever he's promised you, I'll double.
Mr. Riley.
Just get out of
Mr.
here.
Riley.
Sorry.
That
It's so
matters
annoying
not
when
on
I
the
find,
agenda.
right, when the lawyer is in the same building as Jason,
That is on the
Yeah,
agenda.
this is
Personalities
crazy.
and personal attacks are
Okay,
not.
well, it's not personal attack, I'd say it was business, this is business, not personal. This isn't right, and I think most of you people, every single one of you people know it's not right.
please.
Pierre Ford, 117 Grand Street. I have a comment and I have a question. I'll go to the comment first. Everybody, I applaud you guys for showing up. I am very disappointed on this whole meeting. We have individuals who are younger that are here, and this is the way that we act. We should not be acting this way.
Yes, sir.
Okay? As a person who has been in the Navy for 24 years, my subordinates would never, ever see the other chiefs or the other officers act this way. We are supposed to represent Mount Holly in a respectful way. And this right here is not a respectful way. Okay, so my suggestion, and it's not only you, it's all of us. We should not be talking when people are talking up here. And my question is, why do we always have you guys vote for stuff before we come up to comment? That don't sound right. What should happen is we give you our opinions on what is going on, so then you have an understanding on what the subordinates or the constituents are feeling. So then you have a better opportunity to vote what you want to vote. I've been in this town since, I want to say 2007? Oh, okay. And I never understood that. I mean, we're supposed to be able to, you ask, we're supposed to come here and we're supposed to give you either our complaints or even our compliments on what's going on, but yet you guys vote for stuff and then we turn around and tell you what we dislike about what you voted for. It should be turned around. So then you have an understanding on what we are feeling about our town. And the reason why I told these folks that I'm glad that they're here, because we need more people to show up, to be here to represent our town. And I'm sorry what I'm about to do, but you know, it's really upsetting when you have individuals who plan meetings and then change the times on what the meetings are, so then nobody can show up on the meetings. Okay? I'm tired. This is 2026. We should not be acting this way. So please, thank you for showing up. Thank you for discussing everything. But I just want you guys to think about what I've said about what should be done, so then the constituents feel that they're being heard.
Mr. Ford, first off, let me say that I'm sorry if I've disappointed you this evening. Sometimes our better angels, they get a little rodeo in them, right?
It's not
I
just
do my
you.
level best. No, but I'm going to take full accountability for what it is you have to say to me. You're absolutely correct. Sometimes my mouth overrides my rear, like my father used to be fond of saying. But I've got a lot to say, and I often feel unheard as much as you do. So I apologize if that comes off as a poor representative of your voice. I will second to your question. I will ask the same question. I have been asking the same question. When I was elected to this board, the public did come and offer its comments prior to the business of this board so that we could hear your voices on the matters we were going to consider. Okay, roughly 3 months into my tenure, the chair at the time decided that would be moved to a different portion of the agenda, that your voice would be silenced until after we had done the business. And it's any wonder that people don't come to the meeting. Their voice doesn't matter because this board has declared we will be doing what we see fit And you'll get to tell us how you feel about it afterwards, maybe. And if you raise your voice, we'll throw you out with a police officer or two. Okay, when I came into this role, I asked, could we get these tables out of the way and move every chair up front so we'd be set up just like we were over in the old town hall? And I was told, no, we don't want them that close to us. So I assure you that I agree with you, and I meant what I said tonight, that at every meeting going forward, I will be asking to have your voice heard before we do your business and spend your money for the brave men and women who both volunteer and do so under a duty stipend to keep us all safe, to spend that money to make sure that we have what we need to keep that promise, because that part, that's our job. And you've trusted us with it. The least we can do is offer you the dignity and respect of hearing your opinion about how we ought to be doing it. Thank you for coming out tonight.
I appreciate it. And one last comment is, if you do not want, and I'm talking about the whole board, okay? If you do not want us to keep on saying, we can't hear you, do what I'm doing right now. Get closer to the microphone and stall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Maureen again.
Maureen Taylor Ford, 117 Branch Street. So first, follow up what everyone has been saying so far. Just quick, Nicole, specifically, because you keep referencing the 2025 of TAC 11, I think 5 March 25, the resolution, right?
Yes.
You want order and decorum. Does that count for you? I've asked this before. Does that count for the board members? Because you guys, you obviously can't stand each other. You tell me to be quiet, not yell out, right? But I have to sit here and listen to the kindergarten bullshit that's going up here. I mean, come on, Nicole. You asked us to have decorum. You yourself do not have it, okay? I've known you since I came to this town, all right? Okay, so if you ask of us, please do the same of yourself as board members, elected officials that you are, okay? And following up what my husband said, okay? I'm 17 years in the military, an Afghanistan war veteran. I can tell you, I've been an E5 twice. That's when you get demoted, and we're Navy. And I can't tell you how many times I was on bread and water from my mouth, okay? Bread and water, and lost my pay for the things that I see you guys doing up here every single meeting, okay? Jumping out of my bed in Afghanistan, and I gotta come home to this nonsense. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Hellbound, believe me, a lot of you is hellbound. Moving right on. My oldest daughter worked for a consulting company, a team building consulting company at that. In this area, we have a team building consultant called Team Building Unlimited, and we have another one called the Inner Work Company. They specialize in the 5 Ps, looks like people, purpose, process, place, and progress. They also specialize in the 7 Cs, okay, which you guys should be very negligent on. Let's see here. Let me read them out for you. Communication, collaboration, coordination, cooperation, commitment, which we seem to not have maybe but one person who was committed to fly home. They cost that person $1,000 to fly home. Creativity, really zeroing out on that, guys. And celebration. Is there anybody celebrating here tonight? So I think that maybe in this budget that you guys have negated to pass, we need to put some money aside for team building. That should be a priority. We cannot get things done if we cannot get along. And we obviously can't get along. We really can't get along. Ms. Gaskell only gets along with Nicole. These two don't get along with that. Jules decided he wants to jump into this doo-doo pool, and now he's running off on vacation. So maybe he's on a cruise. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, because cruises, you can't really have travel insurance for that. But again, we need team building. Team building, people. It is very important. Team building.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I'm calling the news. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm calling all the news stations tomorrow. Next meeting.
Stone Laraway, 114 Branch Street. Has the director of fire been suspended? I assume that's the case, because why did a suspended fire director make these allegations on his community
I'm just gonna
Facebook
caution the
page?
board that there are.
I'm sorry, I was talking.
There are multiple employees that, my understanding, are out on administrative leave, including the director and the fire marshal. And neither one of them have been voiced here tonight.
What are you saying?
Neither one of them have been voiced.
Speak up, Nikki.
Okay, I'm sorry, my microphone's not working. I'm doing everything I can to speak
Hear
into
it
it.
now.
The green light is on, okay? I'm just saying, nobody's been rice noticed, so I am cautioning the board in terms of discussion about either the director or the fire marshal who have personnel matters have been placed on administrative leave. And,
Why has this person been on administrative leave making comments?
There is no
Mr.
agenda
Laraway, this is not on the
There
agenda.
is no agenda item with respect to your positions.
This is public
On
comment.
agenda
This is
matters
public comment.
only. It actually says.
I get clarity on that then, because the first portion says the public comment portion of the meeting is to allow the public to bring their concerns or comments to the board.
And it says agenda matters only when you look when it says public comment.
So how exactly are they supposed to address us in any other way? I mean,
They address us without the agenda.
well, no, it isn't pretty simple, because I don't believe we have the right to truncate their First Amendment right in a public comment of a meeting.
Anyway,
Am I incorrect, solicitor? Can we limit what it is they're permitted to discuss?
Reclaim my time.
If there could be order and his time should be increased and he should be permitted to have his public comment. I am just cautioning the board about back and forth, potential back and forth discussion about individuals who are not placed notice at this meeting. Okay,
Thank you.
But you may continue with your public comments.
Clearly, the last, I don't know, half hour, Nicole, you haven't listened to a word to what the constituents have been telling you. What is
Don't
it?
call me by my first name.
Commissioner Saucier,
Thank you.
you will address me as Mr. Laraway.
I did.
If any, let me go back to the Facebook comment with the page. Is the commission going to taking address to the dissemination of potential misleading information that is published online by a suspended director?
Mr. Laraway, I won't speak to that. I don't have any evidence of it. I know that you recently submitted something via email, but forgive me, I haven't had a chance to look at it in depth after the meeting. If you'd like to give me, that's fine. However, I would encourage you to make sure that that email arrives for Chairman Thiessen, who said tonight that at a bare minimum, he is the current sole member of the Policies and Personnel Committee. I don't know if our attorney will be sharing his email with the public, but in the case that he is, I'm certain you can forward it on to him and he can forward it on to whoever is handling our complaints these days.
Thank you.
Beyond that, I don't think it's appropriate for us to comment because it's not something we've seen.
I sent it out earlier this afternoon to the entire board, including the head, the chair of the commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Laraway.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Clearly, you have no decorum and additionally, no tact, and you're unprofessional.
Let's not engage in personalities, please.
Anyone else in that row? On either side?
Yeah, Mr. Apolito, I'm at 105 Ashurst Lane. Unfortunately, I can say that I've been a Mount Holly resident for over 60 years here. More than some of you people even been born, but first of all, I don't even know why this meeting was even taking place when you don't even have your commissioner available. Again, like someone says, what's going to be taken care of tonight? Nothing. Unfortunately, look behind me, you see a lot of people concerned about this township. So am I. Unfortunately, it's a disgrace. This whole meeting this evening was a big disgrace, really. You're talking about the microphones and so forth. Two individuals are the only thing we've heard all night, most of the people. The rest of them, you were talking to each other. I don't know why. Why are we here then? You know, you don't want to hear our concerns? We'd like to hear your concerns. It's unbelievable. And again, like I say, for 60 years, 20 of these years, all I've been fighting is fire department. I don't know how, you know, you're all aware of that, but we've been fighting this firehouses, even this building here. It should have never been in place. They talked about this place being flooded. They couldn't rebuild all this built. And look at this beautiful firehouse. How it ever got done, God bless somebody pushed it through. This is ridiculous, people. And you got to stop fighting with each other. That ain't gonna work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else behind this? Mr. Apolito?
Kendra Hatfield, 8 Woodstock Court, Lumberton, New Jersey. Kudos. According to December 3rd, news articles stated Jason Carty, Director of Fire Services, has been suspended by the department following allegations of sexual harassment made by a female coworker. I understand correctly, he is currently at home continuing to collect a paycheck while these allegations are under review. It is widely understood that people who engage in sexual harassment,
Again, this is
assault.
This is not an agenda item. It doesn't need to be, it's not an agenda item.
You will not silence. You will not silence. Assault, violence against women rarely do it just once. Such behavior often continues until the individual is finally found and held accountable. I speak from personal experience. I too was a victim of the same predators' unwanted actions. I also know I'm not alone. There are other victims. I spoke to one today. And more are finding courage to come forward. As a point of fact, I told one of the current commissioners sitting up there right now that this happened to me, and I warned her. But obviously this has fallen on deaf ears. The fire service exists to protect people, not place them in harm's way. By failing to take swift decision actions, you will personally have placed women at risk. Every woman pardon me, because I'm really shocked right now. Every woman deserves a place that is secure, professional, and free from intimidation. This expectation is especially critical within the fire department. It is 2026. Sexual harassment and sexual assault are crimes. It is also illegal to retaliate against or intimidate women by using their employment or job security as leverage. The era of telling women to remain silent, to tolerate abuse, and to accept this treatment as the cost of unemployment is over. You were not elected to protect the interests of the fair, well-connected individuals who commit acts of sexual misconduct. It is amazing to me that I have to even say this today. You were entrusted with protection of the public. The responsibility includes protecting women. You are obligated to ensure that one is subjected to the unwanted sexual behavior regardless of who the offender may be, whether it's a colleague, a superior, a friend, or a political campaign manager. There is no justification for this conduct. None. In most places, it is not tolerated at all, which leads me to question, what is happening in Mount Holly right now? Please take action before further harm is done. I will be back with other victims when I can speak to the other commissioner. Have a good day. Thank you. It took me 5 years, but I did it.
You did.
Anybody else behind him? Ms. Hatfield? Mr. Sands?
Hi.
Oh, Courtney, sorry.
Dr. Courtney Cotrillo, 7 Tinker. I just want to be real quick, a little quick. Thank you for coming up, Rob Allen. Can I have, he's not here anymore, Andre Younger. Can I have Eric McKinley come up, please? I just want to change the mood a little bit and just say that, like, Eric's not part of the stipend duty crew program because he protects our country, and we thank him for that. This right here, and one other person is the original, we're the 4 that are actually part of the stipend duty crew program that are originally from Mount Holly. I just wanted to bring them up to.
Here and come back after hours and make sure you leave your dinner table and everything else, correct?
And you incorrect, you know what, just do, because firefighter wives matter, trust me. So, but I also wanted to bring up to say to them, because I don't think it was gonna be done just the way it looks like it's going. I just wanted you guys to give them a round of applause, only because we were here before we got cool. We were here when we didn't have gas meters. We were here when we didn't have proper turnout gear. We were here when we didn't have masks. We were here protecting all of you before we got cool. So I just wanted you guys to give them a round of applause because I don't think they want to get it. It's not just about a tax hike. It's also about us.
I'm going to direct the public comment to be at the podium and direct it again to the board of commissioners.
Well, I mean, I already said it. I already said it, but that was it. I just wanted to come in there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for your previous service and continued service.
Joseph Sands, 117 Tatum Street, Woodbury, New Jersey. I spent 25 years in this firehouse. On August 2024, Mrs. Saucier handed me a no trespass order. Mr. Lawyer, you're a new lawyer now, but you should know the law. Is it lawful for one commissioner to act on behalf of all the commissioners? Or does it need to go to the board?
Sir, I'm not going to engage you in back and forth comment during public session.
Roger that. So it would be through all 5. You were on the board with me, Gina. Were you notified of my trespass order?
We discussed it, but I do not recall the details and I didn't see the letter.
Off topic.
I'm allowed to be off topic. It's First Amendment rights. Have a nice day. Nicole, you don't like being Nicole. You've just heard another person come out and speak about an assault allegation. Are we going to continue down this Jason Carty road? Or are we going to start looking at different directors? My suggestion, this stop another lawsuit happening from this department, which she also decided to slander me a few hours ago on Facebook, would be to, I don't know, maybe look in another direction. And for the record, for Jason Carty's posts about me, I did not resign from the fire commission for a gun charge. Yes, I had one. Guess what? It was thrown out. Guess what else? I left because I moved out of this township, hence my address being in Woodbury. I also, in his initial post, never served in Guantanamo Bay. I was in Baghdad, Iraq. So if you're gonna start talking trash, talk it right and not, your fictitious stuff. For the rest of you board members, June, Nicole, we can't have Joe Sands back because I'm scared of him. Your feelings don't mean nothing for the commitments I've given to this township. You can ask anyone of them four that were just up there or any of the older members that are here, hey, is Joe a bad guy? Has Joe ever been physically aggressive? Nope. So your feelings, I really don't care about. You need to do what's right and legal. Or are we gonna, continue playing that as loophole of lawsuits and lawsuits and lawsuits and cost these taxpayers that still live in this township millions of dollars more? Or are we gonna get to the point where Cumberland Township was just at, where they had to have their mayor resign because of lawsuits? This is the road we're heading down, and it's not gonna be good for this district. You're complaining about you don't have money for the budget now, when you have to, you're paying litigation to be in court. You have to think the bills are gonna rack up. I think it's time we pull our heads out of somewhere it doesn't belong. Maybe start looking and seeing what these people want, because these people are paying your salaries. You took an oath to take that position that you sit up there in diocese right now to represent these taxpayers. This is not a self-serving thing. This is for these people out here in the gallery. You don't like it? Oh well, resign and let somebody else step up and take the position.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
How you doing? How are you? I really don't look that this is gonna change anything. This is like gaslighting. We're talking to the wind. But I gave it a shot because Louis is recording and documenting.
Sir, can you state your name and address for the record?
Sure. David, 166 Villalba, 166 Franconcas Road, Mount Holly, New Jersey. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. What was yours? Where you work?
I'm not giving,
Okay,
comment now,
just
sir.
inquiring,
I'm
that's
just
all, thank you, I
asking you to
appreciate it, no
follow the
more.
procedure.
My friend, Mr. Ford, had mentioned something about the matter, was saying that we should look at things, decision. I don't have any hope, because you guys already made up your mind. You guys are gonna do whatever you want. Why? Because you're afraid of Jason Carty, or because you have your own agenda. What does Jason Carty have against you? What does he have? I don't know, so I'm inquiring, I'm looking into it. As far as, attorney, you asked and you got involved, so you put your 2 cents into it. There's lawsuits coming up, Jason Carty's got a whole bunch of them. And if you want to keep supporting him, be prepared, because you'll be involved as well.
Sir, I'm not gonna engage.
We're gonna look, don't engage, I'm not asking you, this wasn't an asking, this wasn't a question. This was
Can
the,
you please keep your
so,
public comment.
keep supporting
according
Jason
to the
Carty
public
and
comment
use
policy.
LC. Now,
Direct your.
Sulcer,
direct
Leah
your
gave me
public
an
comment
open
to matters,
request,
sir.
and the open request came in, and there are things missing. It wasn't full, and a little things got adjusted, so I'm gonna have to get it again and submit it, and hopefully it would get done. So I don't know who's the one that's actually doing that, would it be, Jules? As far as you speaking about people's attitude, it's very subjective. I can easily say that you're out of control, or someone's out of control, or you're not working together. This is a circus. You're really not working to better Mount Holly. You're looking at things to your own comfort, your own power, your own control, how you can go about it. That's not right. These are people. We are people. We are the town. And you're not gonna address it. It's not gonna look different, but guess what? Everything that Louis is recording, I'm gonna write about it. I'm gonna post it somewhere. It's real easy for me to put it on thousands of websites. It's gonna go out there. And as far as you having these people, this captain, lieutenant, and so on, did it go through a nomination process? Did you guys get a choice to pick who goes on it? Why is it that most of these people are out of towners? Mount Holly should have a fire department who are from Mount Holly. The new fire department should be from Mount Holly. They should have a grandfather in for people who have 5 or 10 more years. Then that's fine. But as far as fire department, you should have Mount Holly, not outsiders come in. Outsiders have no business in here.
Thank you, sir.
David?
Yes, ma'am.
David, in response to your question, in December, a list of possible appointments for line officers was brought to this board by name. Okay? This month, on Sunday evening, I was sent an agenda by the chair that included a new list of names and omitted several of the line officer positions. On tonight's agenda, 2 names have been whited out, one's been handwritten in,
Yes, ma'am.
and it's changed again. So if the list changed from December's meeting to tonight, it did not follow the officer policy that is in question anyway, because no new interviews could have taken place for those roles. And I'd be hard pressed to imagine that the gentleman listed on it submitted letters of intent for more than one role within the line officer appointments.
Thank you.
So I'll be curious to the answers to those questions myself.
I speak to a lot of people in Mount Holly, and there's a lot of interest to be volunteer firemen.
I mean, wait, not for nothing, I don't know how we would have had interviews anyway, because we don't have a policies and personnel committee who's supposed to be doing the interviews.
We should have, well, you're all involved, and you all can go through it.
Thank you,
This is, and a lot of what you said makes sense. You should get involved more for everything.
Anyone else in the back?
Hello. Jessica Hoff, 704 Bloomfield Drive. I just have a few questions. So number one, in the beginning of the meeting, you guys had stated your buildings and grounds chairs do not have access to IT. Don't keys fall under IT, guys? Like, wouldn't you guys have access to give out keys and answer questions for that? Okay. As far as the officers go, does there need to be new applications submitted? Was that even discussed at all? Okay. Last meeting, there was a name of Andre Younger as a lieutenant, and now he's not on here at all. If we follow through with the swearing in of last meeting compared to this meeting, he would have been qualified last time, but not this time? Big question mark, right? Also, I believe last meeting that the chairman also stated that he wanted you guys to all be given the minutes by Friday. Is that correct?
It is.
Is that still in play, or is that just a one meeting thing?
To his defense, and in answer to that briefly, he did apologize for the delay and said that as he is learning, it is absolutely still his intention to make sure that we get the materials, preferably the Friday before close of business.
Okay, but you
That
guys,
was not the case for this meeting.
right, but you guys are all a team supposed to be, so there's, self accountability and then there's team accountability. Just saying, you guys are all there to help each other out, right? Lastly, the first part of this whole meeting tonight was about the budget. So your guys' paychecks come out of the budget that these taxpayers pay. I don't live in Mount Holly anymore. Unfortunately, I moved, but my husband still runs fire calls here. So your paychecks come out of that budget. So for you guys to sit up here and to not be a team collectively, how do you expect them to approve the budget that you guys want to push through? I don't understand that. You guys fight amongst each other, but yet you guys don't fight for us. I don't understand. Make it make sense. That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
Jim Oaks, 322 Washington Street. I have quite a few points at tonight's meeting. First, I'd like to thank the board for clarity on the record that Rob Allen is our acting fire chief and Andre Younger is our lieutenants and the officers, and all firefighters should be following their directions. And now we have a capable person in charge of operations to oversee our calls, our training, and as well as to set the duty crew schedule, as well as all other schedules. So it's great that Rob will be doing that here on in. During the comment I heard earlier about the bill list, I was very upset to hear that the New Jersey American Water bill has been paid for the last few months. If the board has passed a bill list authorizing the staff to do it, and they are willfully discarding the actions of the board, any other government, you'd be terminated immediately for not carrying out the functions of the board. It is unconscionable that the board orders and approves payment, and you say, we don't care what the board says, we're not gonna make the payment. You know, if it was staff here, or if it was the director who also said at a previous meeting, I don't care what the resolution says, I'm gonna do whatever I want anyway. These are all very big problems. Also, I know some of the agendas tonight, Rob Allen wasn't given an opportunity to present his report, and it wasn't included, to best of my knowledge, entered into the record. Why are we not allowing the director, the fire chief, to report on what's going on? That's very troublesome to hear about it. But the most troublesome thing is the selection of the law firm. A lawyer says he doesn't understand fire law yet, and he wants to be a lawyer, that the chair would just spring it on, don't tell the other.
I'm not gonna engage in a back and forth with you, but your facts are mistaken and you're misconstruing my statement.
Can I reclaim my time? The chair not informing the board that the attorney resigned, not informing the board who he's picking, and picking a person who's woefully conflicted. He maintained his office at 223 High Street here in Mount Holly, which is owned by a company that is partially owned by the Director of Fire Services. How can he objectively, discuss matters involving the director when he actually pays money to the director? Furthermore, he paid money this year, his law firm, to the Berlin County Labor Voices PAC. That PAC, funded the campaign activities of Chairman Jules Thiessen, and also funded attacks on democracy here in Mount Holly, trying to stop our voters from having a choice in the election, a choice on who is going to be elected, that passed overwhelmingly with 70% of the vote. His law firm funded this attack in our community. This is disgrace. His actions are disgraceful. He should not be anywhere near this firm.
Facts are mistaken, sir.
It is fact. Facts are fact, black and white with the law. You should familiar yourself with the law if you want to be a lawyer.
Eric McKinley, 443 High Street. Sorry, not a lot of order here with seating. Can anybody explain to me what the policy is for recording in this room during this meeting? Are we allowed to do that?
I have never seen a policy that prohibits it, and it is my understanding that on government property, recording is legal, provided it is not capturing any secure information or documents. I mean, we could certainly refer to that. I know many government agencies have, they restrict it and they ask as virtue of a policy, but that would be up for an auditor to decide.
I appreciate that. Louis, have you ever gotten written permission from the fire district to video here? Okay. Okay, awesome. Has anybody else gotten written permission?
No.
Can I ask why Commissioner Gaskell and Commissioner Thiessen came to me, or Commissioner Gaskell told Mr. Thiessen, I have it on video, I was videoing 20 minutes before this morning, and I promised it was caught on here. And then he came up and approached me and told me to turn off my camera because it is illegal to film this meeting. And I only pushed back, and that's when he backed down and said, that's fine. Can anybody explain that? Solicitor, please.
So I'm not engaging in a back and forth with you. Public comment.
I'm just asking, is it illegal?
I'm not engaging in back and forth over public comment or allegations of things that I have no knowledge of.
Okay.
I would love it if you would please submit that video to us for review at a later date, so that our solicitor can look it over and we can check to make sure that we don't have any policy that illustrates that. Because I certainly would like us to be in line with the policies if they do exist. And I would certainly want to make sure that we're applying them equitably to everyone who attends these meetings.
All right, thank you.
Testing 1, 2, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good.
Hello, Mr. Smith.
How you doing? My name is Frank Smith, I live at 57 Joseph Place. I'm an old timer. Been here, been there, whatever. Just a few questions. We're talking about officers, line officers, for the operations side of the shindig here. Were the operating guidelines changed for the qualifications for the line officers? They were changed, updated, approved by the board, through readings, the whole 9 yards. So they're not illegal, they're not legal then. They have to still go by the old guidelines, what you're saying. You can't just make guidelines up. and go
I
by.
think we should kind of, I don't want to address that, having
Okay.
not had a conversation with my fellow commissioners, but there are some questions that are waiting for answers.
Okay, because just being here 2 or 3 months, coming down here, there's serious problems. Somebody needs to be in control down here, and that's not
It's on
happening
vacation.
on both sides. You got a director that's out, and you got a chief that's out. And they're your two main guys that need to be here to run this department. Not necessarily you got chief on the operations side, you got division, or director on the administrative side, which should be an administrator, not a director. But we have nobody that's in control. You come down the firehouse and nobody knows anything, nothing. I'm gonna tell you, if OSHA comes in here and somebody gets hurt, you think that you're worrying about this budget getting passed right now and get fined? You're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars fines. Because when they come in, they check everything. Everything. If these guys aren't trained to drive these trucks or anything, you're gonna get hammered, I'm telling you. I've been down that road. But seriously, these officers, they have to get them to get them done. And you need, nothing against this solicitor. You need a solicitor that knows about fire districts, not any solicitor. Because you're just wasting your money there too. All right, any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
None? One more thing, I need a key too.
Mr. Smith, I did get your email, and I don't know if you noticed that I did forward that on to Chairman Thiessen. He did inquire of me what that policy looked like to go ahead and get that sorted out for you. I brought it to his attention, and he said that he was gonna look into it when I gave him the brief explanation. However, with his pending vacation, I don't think you can expect to hear anything for at least 2.5 weeks, if not closer to 3.
Yeah.
Perhaps, if she's so inclined,
He said Nicole would be handling it.
perfect, then you're gonna connect with Nicole, and she's gonna get that, Commissioner Saucy, and she'll get that sorted for you.
You're the only one that answered. Bye.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Hello, Ms. Koper-Voss. Did I pronounce that correctly? Koper-Voss?
Koper-Voss, yes. Hi, Amber Koper-Voss, 100 Madison Avenue. I would like to just comment, and this is a little bit difficult, and I don't know the brave woman who came up here at all. I've never met her before. I'm disappointed, but not surprised that her testimony and commentary went essentially unacknowledged. And while I understand the legal limitations of commenting on personnel matters and employees and things like that, the fact that no one could look at her and say, thank you for getting up here, and that must have been so difficult, it's just really disappointing. Irrespective of who it's even about. I don't think in her position, I could get up here and say that. And it's just truly a new low.
Thank you.
Carl Shaw, 17 Lois Lane. I'm the fire district historian, and I want to settle this meeting on a lighter note. Happy New Year to everyone. I got 3 bullet points. I want to thank a couple people tonight. As you can see from previous meetings, there's more things going up on the walls. The museum is starting to get stuff hung up and placed. We desperately need display cases, and that's a money thing, and we'll work that down the road. We still have a lot of stuff in storage that we got to bring back here and put it on display for the general public. In saying that, I'd like to thank Chuck Krog. He built us a beautiful fire extinguisher rack. It's in the back of the stalls here. If you can look through the window, you can see it. We had that in place the same day that we did the historic house tours. This was the first year that this district participated in the historic house tours. I had several members here that helped us. It was 5 hours of me talking and giving tours that day. And we received, according to the book, if everybody signed in, we had 67 people go through this museum in one afternoon from 3 to 5, or 3 to 8.
3 to 8, right?
Okay. So I'd like to thank those that helped me out presenting that to the township. The last thing I want to bring up, or the last bullet point, we did receive a mannequin yesterday. That was on my bullet list. We want to dress up the mannequin coming out of the shed with a bucket as a colonial firefighter, because we're the oldest in the nation. And in 2 years, we're going to start preparing. We're going to celebrate our 275th anniversary. And that's no small joke in our country today, because this year we're celebrating 250 years, and we're beyond that. The last thing I want to say, as a reminder for all you residents, and this is a safety item. We talked about hydrants tonight. If you live on a property in this township, if you have a fire hydrant out front, now, we hadn't had snow for the last couple of years, and we just had a fairly good one last month. And they're forecasting the end of this month, or even in February, we may get some more heavy snows. Please, if you shovel your walk, take 2 minutes and shovel around that hydrant. You don't realize how critical that is, especially in severe cold weather. And it's going to help us greatly to save your property or your neighbors or whatever. And it could even save a life. So please clean your hydrants if you have one in your front of your property. The New Jersey American Water Company does not do that. So just make sure you're aware of that. There again, you'll be a good neighbor if that's done. So make sure you do that, and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
Anyone else in the back of the room? Hello.
Robert Allen, 704 Bloomfield Drive. I forwarded my chief's report to the chairperson. You guys didn't do that. But I also wanted to add, to let you guys know, the rest of you know about the people walking out in shifts, when I put out a directive being acting chief that I was put in back in October by Director Carty. 2 of you up there on the board to the left, Mrs. Gaskell and Mrs. Saucier, is telling them individuals not to acknowledge me. I am nobody. I have text messages proving that you are telling them that, and that's very disrespectful. Show me some authority. As well as last month, Mrs. Gaskell approached me and my wife and said, I hope you're not mad at me. I had no say in the interview process. And I will get it changed around. I have jewels in my back pocket. And here we are today. You guys are pushing me out the door. Do you recall that, Mrs. Gaskell? No? I figured you wouldn't. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the back of the room?
Don't worry, you don't have
cops will be in that hole.
Good to know.
I just got one simple question, y'all. Who turned my key off and when did it get turned off? I'm a life member here. I suggest it gets turned back on. Thank you.
Tim, what's your address? Your name and address for the record.
I'm Tim Fuller.
What's the address from?
Dover Road.
Is that it? Are we, is there anybody else all the way in the back anywhere? I can't see if there's anybody over that way. All right, seeing none, I'm closing the public portion. I'm sorry, motion to close the public portion. Let me rephrase that. All right, moving on.
Next agenda item is the motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion it.
All in favor?
Need a second.
Who's second? Oh, second is me.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor is an aye. Aye.
All ayes, Sam. I'm so sorry.
That's what I think. Don't go that.
And again, I can't speak to that. Everyone has a personal right. And if you are not putting yourself in there as a representative of this district, who are responsible for your own speech. Now, whether or not this body decides who works at it is a discretion of the body.
When did you get back?
I just.
He's had that for a while. That's a nice camera. No, I said, when did you get back? I told you that for. I've been wondering where you were. I'm sorry.